what it is. How's it going, everybody? Today we're going to be doing yet another edition of our expectations episode. We're going to talk about all the things, talk about the greats of 2023 and the disappointments, and of course things we're looking forward to in 2024. And once again, we have our returning guest, Jasmine Shiloh, so you're going to want to hear what she has to say along with the rest of us. So if you want to tune on in, there's only one way to do it, and that's to grab your snacks, grab a beverage, and listen on in to the first ones to die.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the First Ones to Die podcast. And guess what? It's our last show of the year. Woo.
Well, actually, when this comes out, it'll be January 1st. So this is actually the first show of the new year.
Jerome.
Always gotta start something, Jerome. Always gotta start something.
It's the last show that we're recording of the year.
That's true. Yes.
It is a good one because it is our annual expectations episode. But before we get there, two lovely co-hosts, Alex and Jerome, how are y'all doing?
As you can see, I am in the void right now. I'm in the ether. So if you could just Venmo me at Jerome Rhett so I can pay my way out, that'd be fantastic. But in the meantime, no, I've moved. I have a new apartment. So if you're watching on the YouTube, whole new background, but it's blurred because you'd see nothing but disarray. It's nothing but boxes and chaos back there. Trust me, you don't want any part of it. It's a deep abyss, and no one should be wallowing in it except me. But I'm happy to be moved and officially in my new space. Like once I finally get it all decorated and stuff, it'll look a lot different. But I am so tired because I've had to do that. My laser show this past week did laser run the jewels, so that was dope, and glad people came out for that. My mom was in town, so I also had to entertain and host, but it was great to see her, and it was great to have my mom in town. We got to actually do some stuff, have a good time, watch a few movies and TV shows, watch Medea's Christmas.
Not on Christmas, but Christmas week. So, and gift giving, gift exchanging. I got a Lego flower set, like one of those ones where it's like a flower pot, like a potted flower, but it's made of Legos.
That's
so
fun. I want to get that one.
Yeah, and then I also got a pool stick for my dad, so I can play some pool with my own personal cue now, and also some clothing items, of course, like scarf and hat and things. So it's good. It's been a good Christmas season and Christmas week.
Alex, what about you?
I've been doing good. Nothing too exciting this week. There's been literally nothing to do at my job because I work with insurance, so I can't do shit until January 1st. So I've literally been doing nothing this week, and it's been kind of nice. Getting paid for it too, but nothing exciting's been going on right now. Like Jerome, I had my mom visit a couple weeks ago, so that was the most exciting part of December for me, and I've been kind of enjoying the quiet because 2023 has been a lot. It has been a lot. I saw a TikTok where somebody was reviewing 2023, and they're like, "Hey, do you remember the weather balloon that got shot down?"
It was a long time ago now.
Nope, it was January.
Yeah,
it happened in January of 2023.
No, I know. I mean, a long time ago in 2023.
But like I feel like that was like years ago or something. Nope, it was just in January 2023. And some of the stuff that people went over, I was like, I feel like time is non-existent, like truly non-existent now. So that's where I am at in my life at this moment. So fun. But how you doing, Jonathan?
Good. What has been happening? I stayed in LA for Christmas. On Christmas Eve, did a little friends Christmas. You can't call it Friendsgiving because that's for Thanksgiving, but Friends Christmas Eve. Yeah, Friendmas. There we go. On Christmas Eve, and ate a good meal, and that was really nice. On Christmas Day, watched a movie that I might be talking about in this episode. And then later in the week, like you, Alex, has been slow at work. Most of the big stuff happened in the second week of December. So for the rest of the month, it's just been like pretty chill. And then excited for New Year's tomorrow, the day that we're recording this. And I like personally, New Year's is like probably one of my favorite holidays because it's just like a party holiday, and then you also get to say goodbye to the holidays and stuff, which can be stressful, and you just get to celebrate like beginning and starting fresh and looking forward to the new year. So I very much appreciate New Year's. You know who else I appreciate? Our special guest, our special guest, Jasmine, who y'all shouldn't be surprised because we have her on every year. If you're a loyal fan, if you're a loyal listener,
Yep.
you know.
Unofficial
Jasmine.
fourth member of the podcast.
That's right.
Jasmine Shallow.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm so happy to be back. I'm super excited. I always love doing this episode with y'all. I've been on a few other ones, like we did a trivia one together, and we've just a few other ones with you all, but like this one's my favorite to do. I was looking forward to it, even though I kind of forgot that today was Saturday. But I've been looking forward to it. And my holiday was well. It went well. I watched a bunch of like Christmas movies, of course. The old school Grinch, the Jim Carrey Grinch is also really good, but the old school cartoon, love it. And I just have to say, shout out to my parents for getting me what I think is my favorite gift this year. They got me this puzzle board so that I can. So it's like a board with like little sides. And I can fit a puzzle as big as 2,000. I'm like looking at it right now on the other side of my laptop here. And it has little drawers so I can put my pieces in there and organize them. And you have a little mat that you can put on it. So I'm going to go over to my parents' place tomorrow and I can take it with me. Isn't that lit?
Oh,
and it like
cool.
Comes on this little like circle thing so I can spin it around. So if I want to sit over there on my couch, I can sit over there, but if I want to sit over here near the fire, I can sit over here and just spin it around.
Okay. I've seen so many people getting into puzzles. It's really,
it's
I don't think
cool.
I have the patience though.
It's so well. I think that's the cool thing about puzzles is that, especially with this one, is I can work on it, and then in 3 months I can work on it again if I want. I'll be working on it for like several days. But if for some reason you were over it, you could just put your little mat and then tuck it away.
That's cool. Because the struggle with puzzles, like in theory, sometimes I had I did buy a couple puzzles during the pandemic, and the thing about puzzles is you have to find a space that's big enough to actually lay it down.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes that's like the dinner table, the coffee table, whatever. But it's like, what happens when I need to use it?
No, exactly. Yes, exactly. That's the issue. And also, what if you want to be cozy somewhere else?
Right.
You know, you don't always want to sit at your coffee table or your dinner table. What if I want to sit at one of the other ones? I don't have any other tables, but y'all know what I'm saying. Anyway, let's get started. Enough about me.
Nice. Well, how do we? It's been a year since we last did this. So, how do we want to start? If this is your first time listening to our expectations episode, how this is going to work is we're going to go through the past year in media, what we liked about the selection, the options that 2023 gave us in terms of movies, TV, even music. We're going to talk about what we didn't like. But we're not gonna harp on that too much because then we're gonna get to the future. Then we're gonna take a peek at what's upcoming in 2024 and what we're excited about. Does anyone want to go first with what they did like in 2023?
I watched. Well, one of the biggest things that I surprisingly ended up liking was One Piece, the live action version of the anime. I ended up liking it so much more than I thought I would. I had seen it came out in September 2023 on Netflix. I had seen a lot of people talking about it, and I was like, I'm not a big anime person, but the more clips I saw from it and the more people talked about it, I was like, this is actually really good. And I got Netflix again because I didn't have it for like over a year, and I ended up like falling in love with it. I'm really excited for season 2 even.
Have you seen the anime?
No, I'm now starting to watch it. There's like 900 episodes or something, but it's more of a
Dang.
I'm watching
It's
it
a
kind
long
of
anime.
in between.
It's a
Yeah,
commitment.
yeah, I'm watching it in between stuff now. So if I
Mhm.
don't feel like watching the shows or movies that I'm trying to watch, I'm kind of watching that. I'm not trying to go through it like I've seen some people are. The live action also stayed pretty close from what I've watched, had stayed pretty close to the actual anime itself, which was surprising because every time I've seen a live action, it's drifted so much further that it's like, okay, you could have just created a new story. I don't know why you tried to do it with this anime, but just create a new story with whatever you're doing. It
Mhm.
felt less like fan fiction because a lot of times live actions feel like the fiction version of the real story. This actually felt like the actual anime. So I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
what that show helped bring a lot of faith back because people, Cowboy Bebop did not do well at all, and a lot of fans were disappointed. And so then, when with One Piece coming out, it restored faith for a lot of people to be excited for the Avatar show they're doing, the live action show that's supposed to come out next year. And so a lot of and luckily for them, no one paid attention to Yu Yu Hakusho, which also came out this year, the other live action anime thing they did this year, and I heard is not as good. But I think that one kind of just came and went. No one really talks about Yu Yu Hakusho at all. So
Yeah, I haven't heard any of those names. Well, except for the Cowboy Bebop. But that's mainly because you
Mhm.
mentioned it to me, Jerome.
Yeah, I'm watching the anime right now.
I actually
I
do
have
really like
not
that
seen
one.
it.
That one's Al's favorite of all time for anime, so we've watched it a couple of times, and I really like it.
It's a good anime. It's just
Mhm.
I haven't watched the live action show yet because I want to finish Cowboy Bebop the show and then watch the movie and then watch the live action one so I could get some context as to why a lot of people didn't like it.
Yeah.
Or maybe if I do like it, I don't know. What else did you watch, Alex? It was on your greats list.
Last of Us was really good.
That was good.
I
That
still
I
was
had to eat
finished that.
I had to eat a lot of crow because not that I thought it was going to be bad. I just whenever there's like an adaptation of a video game that already is cinematic, I'm like, so basically you're just control C and control Ving the entire game just in live action mode. I'd rather have a controller in my hand is what I'm hearing. But it actually was really good.
it was. My whole thing is the zombie thing. I really love zombies. I got really worn out because The Walking Dead will not die. And they have so many spinoffs. So it kind of killed like the zombie
I think the
feel
main
of
show
things.
died. Now they have all the spin-offs.
I know they have Daryl
The
Dixon,
spinoff should
Negan,
die
Negan,
too.
Paris. I heard the Daryl Dixon's in Paris and then Negan and
Paris, wow.
yeah, I don't know how he apparently drifted over there. I don't know.
Who knows? I might come back to it for that new Rick and Michonne show that's coming out. They're apparently doing a show
Yeah, there is a
after
Rick and Michonne show coming up.
yeah, and they
I think
find
that's
each
a
other or
little
whatever.
weird after they killed off Andrew Lincoln's character, Rick. There's no
Well, he didn't die.
He didn't die.
They should have just left him. I don't know. I feel like this is more on Andrew Lincoln than on anybody. He should say no. Like, no. This is Andrew Lincoln's fault, really.
He's got to work, all right? He needs money.
Find some other project. I don't know what this is. But no, The Last of Us was so good. And like I said, I love zombies, but I was a little burnt out. And I like their version of zombies, how it's more organic than just some people messing in a lab. This is like a thing that can just come from the earth. I was like, that's freaky. 'Cause I feel like one day plants are going to get tired of our asses and are going to take us over. So
I liked it, but that was my only real critique of the show is the way they did it in the show. I think undercut some of the perilousness of that world because in the video game, because it's a fungus, there's how it spreads is yes, like by bites, but also by spores and a lot of them are underground. In fact, when the clickers die and they like attach to the wall and become like a fungal growth on the wall, they release spores. And so throughout the game, there's times where Joel and Ellie will wear gas masks so that they don't breathe in the spores and become infected that way. And it helps to make the world seem even that much more scary, because you could just die by just being in a room because there's spores in there and now you're infected. And they said for the show, it just made it too hard for them to do like the story they wanted to tell. So they ended up changing it to be a little bit more like regular zombie like, and then use the like fungal network thing. But I'm like, nah, but I really like the spores. Also, with the spores, you're covering up your actors' faces a lot more. And they're like, damn it, we paid for Pedro Pascal. Damn it, you gonna see this man's face. He's not gonna be covered up in no damn gas mask.
Did you see? It's been all over my TikTok. People's hottest man or sexiest man. They chose that guy from Grey's Anatomy.
Oh yeah,
Patrick Dempsey.
Yeah, and people were like, "Was this is like 10 years ago?" Yeah, maybe. And they like Pedro Pascal was on the top of the list, and everybody's like, "What the hell?"
We
Why'd
were
you
talking
choose
before
him?"
it came out, before the name came out. We were talking about it at work. We were like, "Oh, I was like, oh, it's going to be Pedro Pascal because this has been like his year," but
Oh yeah,
they decided not to.
I guess they were like, he's not white.
I don't even. Yeah, I don't even know.
I mean,
what
a white
Patrick
man
Dempsey
hasn't been picked,
in.
but like there have been non-white men picked, but still.
But like, what has Patrick Dempsey even been in this year?
The only thing I can think of is Thanksgiving. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
I
right.
was like, he's in Thanksgiving, but I can't think of anything else he's been in this year, to be quite honest, that like made a splash of any kind. Yeah, no, except Thanksgiving.
That wasn't even especially a splash. That was more like
that was more like a drop, like a drop.
Yeah.
Like in the bomb.
Did you see Thanksgiving, Jasmine?
I did. It's actually on my list.
Oh, okay. Wait,
All right,
I'll hold.
We'll come to you.
Another thing I regret watching, and I Fast X.
Wait,
that was this year.
I had
that was this year, but we haven't got to the disappointments yet. It's all the greats. We got to get there.
We got to say the greats.
Yeah, we got to say the disappointments.
That show mainly is
that
movie's the main my main one I dislike. But I also saw Meg 2. I dragged Jerome to the 4DX theater.
Oh,
so you can feel it, so you can get thrown around and get sprayed with. We got sprayed with water, I think, every like 2 minutes because you keep diving into the water.
That sounds great. That sounds so fun.
I loved it. I love anything to do with sharks. It was so much fun, and I love the movie. I love how they kept going with the story, and I love that they found more Megs, of course. But I like their creativity of how they kill them. It's also interesting because I think he used an actual spear to take down, this prehistoric shark. So it was like, okay, I don't believe that would be enough because there have been like sharks and whales
you
found
act like
with
it's not like
things.
A spear with like an explosive on the end of it.
That's true.
You didn't just take a spear and go like all Thor on him and just stab it into the shark.
He did that for quite a bit. He did though. He like got on top of the shark and would just like stab him. So the explosives came, of course, near the end. So he did go a little stabby on them, which I still enjoy. I do. I love the Meg, and I love the Meg 2. So that was another big enjoyment that I had. And then Dungeons and Dragons. I also had fun with that movie. I don't think it was like the best.
Well, it's on my reserve greats list, but it
wasn't like the best ever, but it was super fun. I love Chris Pine. I've spoken about my love for Chris Pine, and it was just one of those movies because we went with a group of us. That's just fun to go with a group of friends to just watch and enjoy.
That was a good time. Yeah, I forgot that was this year too. That seems so long ago.
Especially your
D&D in the winter.
Yeah, it was February.
I think it was
March.
I think it was early.
The end of the summer. I think that was like in the middle of the summer.
No, that was in
March.
No, because it was definitely raining when I got there to y'all. Because it took us like 2
hours. It
rains
rains here during the summer.
It was like
I'll look it up. I got it.
Okay,
I got it.
Let's see. March 31st.
Ha! I said March. I knew it. But anyway, that's another movie that I just really enjoyed, and it wasn't like great, but it was something that I just had fun with and enjoyed everybody's company with. So
what was amazing
my
too,
kids of the year.
I found out that why I like that movie so much is because it's made by the same people who made another movie I really love, also about board games, Game Night. If any of you have seen that movie.
Yes, I love that
Same-
movie. It's so
same
good.
writers, same director. Yeah.
I've seen the poster for it, but I've not seen the movie.
Oh, it's so good.
It
It's
is
a good
really
movie.
good.
So good.
Yeah, it's really good.
I
Jesse
love
Plemons
Game
killing
Night.
every
Jesse
role that
Plemons.
he's ever been
He's
in.
the
Every
best.
role.
Game Night.
And but they're the same team that made Game Night, made Dungeons and Dragons. And I was like, that makes so much sense now why this movie's so
It does. Yeah, now that you're saying that, I'm like, oh yeah, the tone is very similar.
good. Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Jasmine, since
watch
you already
it.
started with your greats for the year, what like with Thanksgiving?
Yes, I loved Thanksgiving. Oh my gosh, loved it so much. So much. I was a little nervous because Eli Roth's horror movies really aren't my taste specifically. So I don't really like heavy gore. And so his stuff like Hostel and things like that, and even like more of his action movies are just, it's very, very gore heavy. So I was a little nervous, but I love a slasher, my favorite horror genre, and I love a slasher that gives nods to like the 70s and 80s. That's like the golden era of slashers, right? So I had a great time. It was pretty violent, but I went with some friends, so I was able to get through it. Pretty silly, which was also, you know, a characteristic of slashers from that era. Like, didn't take itself super seriously, but also still had me guessing. I was like, oh, who did it? So I really
called it
liked
from the
that
beginning.
one.
I guessed it from the beginning. Yes.
Did
I was
you?
sitting next to him.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't hear your guess until like it was about to be revealed, but I trust that you had it in your mind.
I told Alex.
Yeah, Jerome likes to place his bets early.
Yes, I really liked that one. Super random that Addison Rae was there.
I know.
Very.
Well,
And my friends
random.
both said it at the same time. We were like, is that Addison Rae? And then our other friends were laughing.
I think Jonathan
Literally
said it to Jerome, and Jerome's like,
He
"Is
did,
that
and I was
Addison
like,
Rae?"
you know what? It sure is. That's
because she has that look that's like it's not particularly distinct, but you know that it's her, I guess.
I think she's
Listen.
just been around TikTok for so long and like has a very strong social media presence. Even if you don't follow her or her style, she's
And I
on.
know that she's been like doing movies and stuff.
Yeah, you got to
Like,
get it in while you can
starting
get it in. Listen, Taylor Swift's
Yeah.
first movie was Valentine's Day, and look at her now.
Is
I really
Valentine's
think
Day
that
what put
has-
her on, though? Or was it more her music?
No,
Yeah,
but
I
it,
think-
like
I
no,
think-
none of her movies are what put her
Yeah.
on. Jasmine is definitely,
But Jerome,
I'm
look at her.
trying to follow like the example here.
But also
I'm
look
just
at her
saying.
last
I do have a
role.
question. So had y'all seen, like, Eli Roth took it from a trailer that he had made, like a mock
Yeah.
trailer he had
I
made years
did.
before.
I
Had you
honest-
seen the trailer before? Okay,
haven't
I
seen
actually
it.
had
I
never
didn't know
seen
that.
it.
I saw because it's one of the trailers in the Grindhouse like double feature that Quentin Tarantino, Robert Rodriguez did, and I had seen the trailer. I just forgot about it until like I watched a review that was talking about it, and they're like, "Yeah, it's based off of this trailer." I'm like, "Oh my god, it is based off that trailer." It's been years since I've seen that, and I appreciate Eli Roth's restraint though. That despite, and I think we said this during the review, like the short is super graphic and very Grindhouse. Like that trampoline scene is straight from
that's
that
exactly what I
trailer.
was thinking of. Yeah,
But
exactly.
in the trailer, it's way more gratuitous. Like she's just topless, and then she just does a full split on the knife. Versus in the movie, they were like, "No, we're gonna pull back a little bit."
I do kind of appreciate, so I watched the trailer after I saw the movie and noticed that specifically about the trampoline scene. And I do almost, one, I think I'm happy that I didn't watch the trailer beforehand because he takes like deaths from it. But two, specifically the trampoline scene, when you're watching that scene, you kind of think that is what's going to happen. That she's going to land on it like that. And then it doesn't happen like that. And I was like, you know what? I kind of like that it did that, because the alternative is, one, like really unnecessarily violent, and two, it threw me off, right? It was like, it subverted my expectations. So yes, I really liked that one. I'm looking at my my list here, my faves, my disappointments, and my looking forward to, and there's horror on every single one. So I'll just go to my next horror one. Talk to Me. Loved it. Loved
I
the
knew
ending
you were going to mention
specifically.
Talk to Me. I was like, Jasmine's here. She's going to talk about Talk to Me.
Yes,
That was also on
loved
my
the
list.
ending.
I had to
Right?
watch the movie
The ending
through
was really
YouTube,
good.
through other reactors watching the movie. I was like, y'all ain't gonna bring demons into my house, not on my
Oh
watch.
my God, I'm dying.
I still want to watch
I
this stuff because it
didn't enjoy
was
the
good.
beginning of it. I didn't enjoy the beginning of it. I really liked the end, but I didn't really particularly like the beginning.
What
don't know.
about the beginning? I'm like having trouble right now. Like, what part are you talking about?
I don't know. I understand what it was trying to show, that the main character was feeling isolated and invalid, especially by somebody she's supposedly really close to. And then she kind of tags along to this party to make herself feel more included, even though everybody kind of is like, we don't really want you there. And I get it was just supposed to make you feel more connected to this character and make you sympathize about why she's, talking to a demon hand. But I just kind of was like, oh, it's a little slow, and it's a little like, compared to the rest of the movie. Well, the rest of the movie got so quick, so serious, so like engaged so quickly. I was like, this is great. This is like, and then that ending was good. I really liked the
Ending was so
ending.
good.
The ending
They're
was
already
great.
talking about doing
Jonathan, what were your
a
thoughts?
sequel, I think.
With the so I loved it. It was also on my list as well. It gave me Hereditary vibes, mainly probably because of the kid and the disfigurement of the kid. And they've also announced that there's going to be a sequul as well.
There's actually going to be 2.
I'm sorry. Al in the background scared the shit out of me. I was like, Jasmine, someone's in your house.
You got a ghost.
I was like, what the hell? Because there's just blinding light and then this head just floating in the background.
Sorry, y'all. I didn't tell you. I've been like touching this hand, doing some like woo stuff. So
just as we're talking about Talk to Me.
Sorry, go ahead.
Really quick, they had already written a sequel to it, to Talk to Me, and they're writing a prequel to it now or something like that. So 2 more movies are actually going to come out for Talk to Me.
a
So what
prequel
do
would
we
be
think-
cool.
Yeah, that would be cool. Because it's like there's a whole bunch of there's like a lot of grounds and basis for it.
Yeah.
Like it would be.
Yeah, in fact, there's talks about like in the lore of the movie, there's like multiple hands because some of the hand they use in a different scene looks different than the hand that is in the main part of the movie, and so a lot of people are like, there's multiple hands possibly out there.
I don't know
So
if that's
what
going
do
to come
we-
out during the prequel or the sequel, but
What do we think is going to happen in the sequel? Do we think it's going to follow Homegirl as a ghost?
No, I think there's going to be a new character. I think her story's done. I think they're going to just have a new character, but just with new consequences, maybe, or maybe new rules, even.
I think it would be new characters.
yeah, maybe we get to see more about what actually happens, because it shows kind of what happens to the boy after he holds onto the hands for more than 60 seconds, about like kind of this
Yeah, I
deep
remember the
space he's
rules.
in. So I think maybe they'll show. I feel like they'll show more of that other world.
That
But,
little boy acted his ass off, though.
He did.
Yeah,
I was
feeling
scared.
for him.
I looked at him. I was like, that is my little brother. Get him out of there. Like, I was worried for him.
You know what,
Aw.
though? For me, the biggest thing is that this is a great example of like when you give YouTubers who know what they're doing money, it can pan out. Because the Raka Raka boys, I remember watching their videos back when I was a kid in like high school, where it was all their super violent, super bloody, like action movie type stuff. Some of it horror stuff. And so to see them like evolve to this, where they made this really serious and very detailed and thought out movie, where I'm like, man, you guys like elevated your material way big. So I'm anything they're working on, even if it's not a sequel to Talk to Me, I'd be down to see for sure.
Totally.
All right.
Yep.
Anything
Jasmine,
else on?
Got anything
What
else?
else? What else is on your best of?
Okay, I don't want to take too long because I know we have a lot to talk about, but I did really, really like Megan. I can't believe that came out this year.
Oh my gosh. I know. I did not
Oh,
believe
really?
because when I've been
Funny
listening
enough,
to,
that was on my
podcasts.
disappointments list, actually.
Really? Okay, we'll be able to get into that because I really liked it. I thought it
Mhm.
exceeded my expectations in that it was actually kind of good. Jonathan, what were you gonna say though?
Oh, I was gonna say I've been listening to podcasts and people recapping the year and stuff. And when people talk about the fact that Megan came out this year, I don't believe them. I'm like, no, this came out last year.
Yeah, man, that
You
was
know
all the
But it
vibe. That
did.
was all the
Told you,
rage in January. That's all anybody was talking about.
I guess so. Yeah, it was. I know when I was doing my list and thinking of the movies, I went on my letterbox and I was like, was that this year? I had to double check the release dates and stuff.
Had to
I
go
do
on
want to give a shout
IMDb.
out to my
Mhm.
other Megan, The Stallion, for her music video and new song Cobra. We stan, bad bitches only. Enough said. I don't even need to elaborate. The last one I want to touch on though, just because I really hope one of y'all have seen this. So I met up with Kaylin, one of our good friends. Hey Kaylin, if you're
nice.
listening.
He's been on the
Hey,
podcast.
And
Even.
we went to oh yeah, that's right. They have, yeah. We went and saw Anatomy of a Fall. Have y'all heard of this or seen this?
I've heard of it.
Heard
have
of
not
it. I
seen
don't know
Yeah,
what
I've
it's
heard of
about
it. I
at
didn't
all.
get to see it.
Okay, I'm gonna leave it there then because Kaylin and I we went to SIF and we're sitting in there. It's maybe 14 other people. Y'all know the population at SIF too, right? It's me, Kaylin, and some older white folks, okay? And we're
Yep.
sitting in there. I'm not going to say what it is because it'll spoil it. And I want y'all to have this experience. But there's a song that's covered in the movie. And that I can't, dang it. It's not going to hit as hard. So I'm not going to say it. But there's a song that's covered by not quite a jazz band, but that's kind of it's just the instrumental. It's a rap song. That's all I'll say. There's a rap song that's covered in the movie. It's instrumental to the plot and you hear it a lot in the movie. And when it started playing, I was kind of looking around, because Kaylin definitely didn't know what song it was, but I didn't have to guess that. But I'm looking around at everyone else, all these older white folks, and I'm like, do y'all know what song this is? This is wild. And so you have to watch it. Don't look it up. Don't look up any spoilers because you're going to be so confused when you watch it. And really, you're going to be really into it. So that's all I'll say. Okay, I'm done.
Reminds me of
That reminded me of a movie that I felt like should have been on my list. The
That's
Blackening.
on my
Thank
list.
you.
That's on my list as well.
I
That's on my
haven't been
list.
able to see that yet.
Really? It was so good. That movie
I think it's on Peacock.
was great.
Oh, is it? Okay.
I think
Okay,
so.
I'll look. Yeah. No, I was supposed to, and then I just had something I had tickets to it and then had some things come up that day. So I was supporting the people, but I didn't get there. So
And you
Jonathan,
did,
I'll let you. I have more on my list, so you go ahead and keep that on your list and just go ahead and talk about. We'll talk about it when you talk about it.
Yeah.
All right.
I was gonna say your SIF experience reminded me of when I went to see Moonlight, and I watched it at SIF, and it was just me, the only black man in the audience. There's a bunch of old white people in there with me. And I was like, y'all can't possibly relate to this story in any capacity.
I saw Parasite at SIF. That was the last movie I saw before the pandemic. I saw it at the Egyptian.
Before the pandemic? That's how long ago that movie came out?
Yeah, right.
It came out. Yeah, it was a
pandemic.
long time. It wasn't it 2019? Was Parasite 2019?
I think maybe end of 2019.
Oh
Okay.
my gosh.
Yeah.
Jonathan, go ahead. Tell us your list of the best.
All right. Were you all done with yours, Jennifer?
Yes, I'm all done. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So of course we had Talk to Me. We had The Blackening.
The blackest movie of the year.
It was great. I had been anticipating that movie since I've seen the Comedy Central. Was it Comedy Central? The Comedy Central, sketch.
Mm-hmm.
20 times and laugh every single time. So
was it on your expectations list of this year, of 2023?
I think it might have been, yeah. And I'm also really glad that because I can 100% see the studio putting that movie just on Peacock, to start, or Amazon, or wherever it's going to go. And I'm so glad they gave it a theatrical release because, I got to watch it with an actual audience and hear their reactions. to everything, which was really good. And it was like the audience that I was with, it was there were maybe only about like, so there were like, I'm gonna say like 30 to 40 people in the audience. Maybe about like 5 of us were Black people. So like
Same
hearing the
same number, and all of us had white partners, myself included. Well, my girlfriend, she'd rather be referred to as Mexican because she is half Mexican, but still, like non-Black partners.
Non-Black, yes.
But the audience, at least the audience that I was with, they still gave the reactions that they were supposed to give, which I appreciated. So yeah, I really loved The Blackening, and we did a review on it as well.
Yes, we did on Juneteenth.
Yeah. One of my other ones, which I completely forgot about it until I looked at the stuff that had come out this year, but A Haunting in Venice.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting. I did not get a chance to see it. I've seen the other two. I haven't seen that one yet.
Okay. I really liked it, and I watched it I think I watched it in Dolby, which was a really good choice. No, I watched it in IMAX. Sorry, did I? Wait, I don't know. One of the two, but I think it was IMAX because it filled up the screen. But yeah, it was really good. Michelle Yeoh, she can do no wrong in my book, and hopefully anybody else's book. And yeah, it was really a fun time, and it was really enjoyable.
Nice.
What else do I have on here? So, can we talk about the Renaissance World Tour film?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see it, but I heard it was.
I didn't
good.
either.
I heard it was really good.
Okay, I didn't see the movie, but I did go to the concert. So
Okay.
I listened to the album. I did do that.
Yeah, I listened to it. Does that count for anything?
It does.
Okay. Cool.
I didn't see the tour.
While the world is talking about Taylor Swift, the T Swizzle stands, the Beyonce fans were still eating.
That was it was a good movie, and 3 hours long. It goes by like that, and I'm sure being at the tour was like a whole another experience. Watching the movie was, not as good, but not as good as experiencing it, but it was still a good experience because you're sitting there. Especially I watched this one for sure in Dolby, feeling the seats like vibrate as you're sitting on those recliners and just feeling the music with the behind the scenes stuff like interspliced with all of the concert footage. It was really good. And apparently she didn't, from the movie, she only cut like 1 or 2 songs that she performed in the actual show. So she pretty much recorded the entire show and put it in film format. So
That's really cool.
Yeah. How was the tour though?
Yeah.
It was really good. It was really fun. I'm glad I can say that I finally went. I also don't get really starstruck, or I don't really care about celebrity in that way. Like, it doesn't really matter to me. I don't need to meet a celebrity or anything. And when she came on stage, even I was like, oh, well, that's Beyonce. Like, that's really cool. Like, that's Beyonce.
Where were you sitting in the?
I was on the floor.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
You can actually see her.
Yes. Yeah. I spent a lot of money. Yeah.
My cousin went to that show, and she said when she saw the demographics of the people that at least were in her section, she's like, oh, we failing this mute challenge. I already know already.
I said the same thing. We did so bad too. I was so embarrassed. And I was telling my friend, so I went with 2 of my girlfriends, my very dear girlfriends, Harper and Daniela. Daniela is a Latino woman, Harper is white. And Daniela and I were on, Beyonce Twitter, Beyonce social media, seeing the mute challenges, right? And we kept telling Harper, we're like, man, I'm so nervous. We're going to fail. We're going to fail so hard. Literally, Seattleites are quiet every other time, except when they needed to be for 5 seconds. Except this one time. And no, we failed hard. Like, I almost think she like sped it up just to save us the embarrassment. Like, she was like, no, let's get out of here. But yes, it was really fun, and I had a good time, and I danced, and it was just cool to see. It was just cool to see people dress up. Any excuse to dress up is fun. So I got to wear my my little silver dress and do my makeup all fun. So yeah, I had a good time.
Nice. Oh, that's awesome.
And you said yourself, like, she only cut like 2 songs. So you were basically there.
Hey.
You're basically there.
I was a part of the moment, and I was looking to see, because she did a lot of like in the movie, you see a lot of like fans dancing and stuff. I'm like, I'm trying to see if I knew, because I knew a lot of people who went to the LA shows, and I was trying to see, like, do I know anybody? Can I see anybody I know? But no, I didn't know anybody from the show. I'll speed up through my last couple ones. But we had Cocaine Bear. We had Cocaine Bear this year.
Cocaine Bear made your cut.
Yes.
Honestly,
it was a good movie.
Great.
No, it's not that it was bad. It's just I didn't think that was going to make anyone's cut.
It was a moment. You know what I appreciate? Like with that and The Blackening and like some of these other movies, I appreciate Talk to Me. I appreciate that we got some creativity. We got some new stuff this year.
Yes, we did.
Mm-hmm.
We did get some creativity this year.
Like, and even with some of my misses, we had some new stuff as well. But they, what they tried. They didn't succeed, but they tried. Yeah, so we had Cocaine Bear. And then my last one, which I just watched this week, was The Color Purple.
The struggle.
Yes.
The struggle.
Fantasia.
I saw grown men cry at that show, and God damn it.
I don't be crying at movies, but when the second half,
half hurts your heart. Mm-hmm. It hurts your heart. Worse than diabetes. It kills you.
It hurts it, but it also, like, you're crying because you're so like moved and stuff as well. So yeah.
The only disappointment, why the hell was her in this movie? She might as well have not been there. No. It's not that she wasn't good. It's that they didn't use her. You have this amazing talent on screen, and they didn't have her do nothing basically in the movie. Sing one song.
Yeah, no, not even one song. She sang like 2 lines out of the song,
like a part of a song.
And that was the only part I was disappointed in, with her being there, with her literally her being there. But I thought she did good. I thought she did good for her first acting role. Yeah,
she was really good. It's just, and my mom didn't even recognize her. She was like, I didn't know that was her until you told me.
I didn't recognize Dion Cole.
Neither did I.
The third time we saw him. Yeah,
he's been doing some great roles, because he's great in The Harder They Fall too. Actually, you know who was a legit surprise for me to see in there? Both in the beginning of the movie. David Allen Greer, first of all. I was like, what the hell are you doing here? And out here singing, not singing, singing, killing it. And then also Tamala Mann. I was like, oh shit, Tamala Mann's in this movie.
Mm-hmm. Now I missed her because I walked in as the first number was performing, which I was so mad about, because the line was so long. It was Christmas Day, but. And the theater was packed, by the way. The theater was packed. And people were like, literally after numbers, people were clapping like it was an actual Broadway show.
That was good.
Yeah. And then at the very end, everybody applauded as well. They were like when something shocking would happen, it'd be like, so the audience, they did their thing as well.
My mom doesn't agree, but I think they did great casting agent wise. She did a great job in getting someone who looks like the person who plays young Fantasia's characters, young Celie. She looks just like Fantasia. I was like amazingly surprised. I was like, man, she does look like a young Fantasia. She, like, not everything looks the exact same, but damn near close.
for sure.
Mm-hmm.
She better get that Oscar, or at least nominated. At least.
I would like her to, but I don't think she will. Not because she doesn't deserve it, but because I don't think the Academy will give a movie that black enough nominations.
Well, the original Color Purple got nominated for 11 awards. It
True,
won.
but you know they don't be liking musicals. You know how they be doing musicals like that.
Well, she got nominated for the Golden Globe, so I have
That's
hope.
true. Yeah, so there's hope for her.
Yeah.
If she got nominated for the Golden Globes, normally it's like if you're nominated for the Golden Globes, you're gonna be nominated for the Oscars.
Well, those are my hits for 2023.
I guess I'll hit mine.
Jerome.
Firstly, let's y'all know me when I do my list. It's a little unorthodox. It doesn't always go the exact way that people would normally say it, think it would go. So, firstly, one of the greatest greats of all time is out here for all these actors and writers out here because the strikes are over and we won, y'all. We got good deals this year. Great deals this year. That's right. The producers are gonna have to suck it because they're gonna have to give up some of that money. All right, stop spending so much on these damn vacation houses and goddamn houseboats, and give some to these people who are working hard out here. Because without them, there is no damn movie. There is no TV show. So we got good deals in the actors and writers strike. I'm very glad that happened. I'm super excited about that, and I can only hope that things will get better as time goes on for a lot of the actors and writers, especially those that are not now big yet. That's what makes up a lot of the Actors and Writers Guild. The people that aren't your immediate oh, that's Denzel Washington, that's Carrie Fisher, that's whoever. It's the people who are just just trying to make it out here and struggling just to make a living being a writer or being an actor. So I'm glad that all went very well. And hopefully it'll continue to go well because those deals are set for I think another 2-3 years, something like that. So
yeah,
we'll see. On to like actual movie stuff and the TV shows. Firstly, a show that I did not expect to start watching, but just did on a whim, and I'm glad I did. Daisy Jones and the Six on Amazon Prime.
That was good.
That show was amazing. I did not realize how good it was going to be, especially a show that's like basically just about a Fleetwood Mac-esque band, like, and they're like struggle to stay a band. Like, it was awesome. I love that show. Love the cast. Mainly watched it because I in preparation for a Hunger Games movie I did not watch. Of the new Hunger Games movie this year, of like the song of Birds and Snakes or whatever it's called. I binged all of the Hunger Games movies.
Wait, you still haven't seen the movie?
Nope, sure didn't.
You did all that homework for nothing.
All really did.
Didn't watch even watch a whole bunch of book breakdown videos and the comparisons between the movie and the books, so I could get some deep lore that might be in the movie. All of that. Didn't watch the movie. But what I did, I was like, where's the dude who plays the Aquaman?
Jason Momoa,
no, the Finnick. There we go. In the Hunger Games, Finnick, that character. I was like,
Aquaman.
Oh,
he's great at swimming. He's great in water, and he has a trident. That's what he uses. He's basically Aquaman of that series.
Not though.
Please,
he's not Aquaman. But
I would have accepted. No, I would have accepted like Patrick Wilson, like in relation to. I do not accept. What is his name? Sam something.
Finnick. I don't know.
No, Sam the actor.
Yeah, Sam.
It's Sam, right?
It is. Sam is his first name. God dang it! What is his name?
Claflin.
Yes, Sam Claflin. Yeah. Thank you. Sam Claflin. I was like, man, he's great in these movies. What else is this dude in? And then it was like, Daisy Jones and this, or I was like, is he doing anything recently? And it's like Daisy Jones and the Six. I was like, oh, he's in that show. Okay, maybe I'll give it a watch. And first episode, couldn't put it down. I watched all of that show in 2 days because it was just that good, and it just gripped me immediately. Mostly because I'm a huge music fan, so anything that's about like musicians or music, I'm in. but it was so good, and can't recommend it enough. If you haven't seen Daisy Jones and the Six, please watch it immediately. Also, while we're on Amazon Prime, Gen V, amazing. I was not sure a spinoff of The Boys would be good, but it's awesome. It's really good. They do a great job of like still making the material feel fresh and giving us a whole new perspective in that world, but from like a teenager's perspective, or rather college kid, really. But still, like it reinvented The Boys in a really big way and sets up season 4 for The Boys really well. So this is how spinoffs should be done. Like, if you like, if there's a masterclass on it, watch Gen V. Like, it isn't perfect, but it definitely is like worthy to be like in the same conversation. My only hope is that Amazon Prime does not learn the wrong lessons from watching from seeing the reception of Gen V, and then just start being like, okay, cool, they like that one. Spinoff. Like, no, one good spinoff, maybe another one is all you need. Do not start getting spinoff crazy, because that's how you end up becoming The Walking Dead.
Yeah, I was like, they're gonna go AMC crazy.
Right. Like just like, take your time. Slowly build yourself up to maybe one more spinoff and the main show. Leave it at that, please. But it was really good.
This is making me mad. Now I'm thinking of more stuff.
I
want to share just one more after you're done.
Well, go ahead and say it now. You're chopping at the bit, because I know what you're going to say, and it's in my honorable mentions.
Okay,
go ahead.
It's a TV show.
It is a TV show. I know what you're going to say. Go ahead and say it.
What is it?
Because I'm surprised you didn't say it before.
I know. I didn't think about it. It's Swarm.
It's Swarm.
It's
Swarm.
You were talking about Beyonce. I was like, you're not going to mention Swarm? The show based off her fan base.
I forgot about it.
You liked it?
I did. Did you not like it?
Okay, I didn't dislike it. I feel like it could have gone harder. As someone who's part of the Beehive, I feel like, first of all, Dominique Fishbach, just like amazing. Perfection, amazing. Absolute perfection. No notes, 10, like 500 out of 10. Amazing.
Billie Eilish, awesome.
Billie Eilish is great.
Also, yeah, she really came through too. I forgot she was in that. I think I just wish that. I think part of my issue is that Atlanta set the bar so high that I really thought it would be this absolute perfection in the way that I feel about Atlanta. You know what I mean? Where I was like, I just want like a little bit more. Like, I feel like it could be a little bit more weird. It's the Beehive. Come on, give me a bit more weird.
Because
I was okay with having a straight show, because I was like, we already got the surrealist side of Donald Glover. Let's get a straight, just regular drama from
I'm
Donald
okay with
Glover.
the drama, but I think it was almost like I wanted him to really show how wild stan culture is. Like even
more,
more aggressive.
I heard a critique. Somebody said that using because even though it's not Beyonce in the show, it's whatever her name is, Nyjah. We all know that it's based off of Beyonce and Beehive. And I heard somebody say like that's kind of a little dated, in that the Beehive isn't that like vicious towards other like people or communities that speak out against
They're
Beyonce
not as crazy
anymore.
as they used to be.
Right. It's more so now you have like the K-pop stans who go crazy for their
now the like Taylor Swift fans have become again.
Yeah, the Swiftie.
Oh,
the
or
Swiftie.
I'm almost afraid to say it.
Uh-oh.
The Barbs.
Yeah. Barbs too. Yeah.
Maybe that's why he chose Beyonce, though. He's like, these people aren't going to kill me.
It's the same.
Yeah, they're not going to bother me.
If they were the Swifties or the Barbs, he would have 24/7 security.
Yeah,
that's true. But yeah, I put it on my honorable mentions, and I was just staring at it so hard as you were talking about Beyonce and all your stuff, and I was like, "You're not gonna put Swarm in your greats? I know you love that show."
Yeah, you did. You mentioned it like multiple times after you watched it.
Also, shout out to Paris Jackson out here proving that she's like out here showing her talent too. She was great.
God,
Yeah,
she was
she
in
is.
that too. That's right.
I gotta watch it. I haven't watched it.
Oh my god.
It's good. There are mini review for that coming to the YouTube because I've filmed it. I just got to edit it and put it on YouTube. So we'll have a mini review for that as well coming soon. Also on my list, while we're talking about streaming content, and this is one that I need you to watch this movie and support it because it's already getting, I think, snubbed at the Oscars. At least I hope it is. Nimona. This is the like Spider-Verse is definitely my pick for best animated film. Nimona is my second pick.
What is that?
It's an animated movie that came out this year. The story's about this shape-shifting teenage girl who teams up with a knight, and they're teaming up to help prove his innocence in a murder he's been framed for. That's the best way to say it without spoiling it too much. But the best thing about this movie, more than anything else, LGBT representation on point in every single way. First of all, main character is openly gay. They do not hide it. There is no he's just going to hold a hand or something. Like out from the jump, he's gay, and we're owning it, and that is what it is. But also Nimona, the character of Nimona being a shapeshifter, her non-binary, the representation of her basically standing in for what would be like non-binary or a trans character is so strong and so good, and the story hits you in a lot of ways, especially near the end. It's like it was on the level of like old school Pixar. Like that, this movie is really good, and not a lot of people saw it because it was on Netflix and it didn't get a huge promotional boost. So not enough people really saw it. But anyone who has seen it, this movie is amazing. It's a great, and it's animated very well on top of that. And also Riz Ahmed and Chloe, what's her
Grace
name?
Moretz.
Yeah, Chloe Grace Moretz as the main cast. Great picks, both of them. So just it's an amazing movie. If you have not seen Nimona, please do watch it. Give this movie some support. I also have the book too, which the book is a little more because it's based off a children's comic book. It was a web comic, and then they collected it into a book, and then they did the movie. So the children's book is a little simpler, but still all those things are there because I think the writer's gay as well. And so like it's a good story just in general. Watch it, please. To enjoy yourself. Or treat yourself. And then also on Netflix, They Clone Tyrone. We talk about the blackest, which is the blackest movie this year. They Clone Tyrone is the second blackest movie this year, and that movie's awesome, amazing. It was so much fun. I'm not going to spend too much time on it because we're trying to move along, but it's great. If you haven't seen They Clone Tyrone, Jamie Foxx, John Boyega, Teyana Paris, great triple threat casting. They were so fun. And the movie is also that like surrealist kind of weird Afro sci-fi that I would like to see more of. You don't get to see a lot of black people in like a sci-fi plot as much. So this was really cool, especially one that's kind of set in it's set in technically modern day, but there's like this 70s aesthetic to it that's so interesting and kind of gives it its own unique style and makes the world feel almost surreal in a way. So yeah, They Clone Tyrone, can't recommend enough. And my last one I'll mention before I just hit some honorable mentions is another one that's also like Hail Mary pick, a show that I also was not going to watch until I just had it on my subscription. It kept recommending it to me, so I got annoyed and I watched it and loved it. Was Twisted Metal. Based off the video game of Twisted Metal on Peacock. Stars Anthony Mackie and Stephanie Beatriz. And I liked it. Because Twisted Metal is a very simple game. You just get in cars driven by these maniacs in a world where there's a competition where they put guns on them and they just go around blowing up each other. That's it. The main character is a serial killer clown who drives an ice cream truck that shoots rockets and has has lit his head on fire. Like, it's a very insane game, but they make it work in the TV show. Like, it's so fun, and then a lot of the concepts they bring down to earth, but also just like The Last of Us, they still pay a lot of respects to the video game. Like, there are moments and characters and Easter eggs that I'm like, that's straight out the game and looks just like the game. And it's amazing. Like, I was really impressed with Twisted Metal. I hope they get a season 2 for the TV show. And I if you're willing to give it a chance, because a lot of Twisted Metal fans didn't like it too much. They're like, this is a Twisted Metal, but a lot of people who not played the game really enjoyed it and didn't have that bias going in. Enjoyed it. So please, watch Twisted Metal. Honorable mentions, just to go by real quick. First of all, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. Amazing. Loved all the 90s hip hop in a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. And for the first time, they got kids to play the Ninja Turtles. Because it's called Ninja Turtles, but it's more like preteen Mutant Ninja Turtles, because they are easily just now turning 13, if not still 12 years old. And so they're very young, but they capture so much of the spirit of what it is to be a teenager, especially in the current day, even to the point of making references to memes. They sing BTS's Butter in this song, like in the movie, because they're kids, and that's what kids are into these days. And it's great. So, but also Ice Cube is the villain of Superfly. Fantastic. Barbie was amazing. We didn't even tackle Barbenheimer. Barbie as much as I was gonna put Oppenheimer on my list, but then I was like, it didn't hit me as much as these other projects, it was good, but it didn't hit me. But Barbie though, amazing. Loved Barbie. Super Mario Brothers, not my favorite thing in the world, but I was impressed with a lot of the stuff, and I didn't hate Chris Pratt's voice as much as I thought I would, so that was cool. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse was great, of course. Can't wait for the next one. Hope the animators get treated better than they did making the first part. Guardians of the Galaxy 3, the only Marvel movie that was worth a damn this year. That's just a shame to say, but it's true. Loved it. It was so good, and great send-off for James Gunn to go and do great stuff with Warner Brothers. Love that movie. And then also, this one's more of a RIP, but I just wanted to mention it because he's such an amazing man. RIP to Andre Braugher, aka for a lot of people, Captain Holt from the Brooklyn Nine-Nine TV show. He was amazing. He will sorely be missed. That one actually hit me this year as deaths of actors that I was like, not Andre Braugher. Also as well, Lance Reddick as well, but those two men, great black actors. I only wish their families the best as they go into the new year, for sure.
Nice. Well, shall we get into the misses? I'll start with mine because I just have a couple that came off the top of my head, and I really hate myself for this because all three of them star people of color. So I'm
gonna have to. You're not forcing it. You're not I just like it because of them.
No, see, I'm with you because I remember that year when Jada Pinkett Smith was trying to be let's boycott the Oscars, y'all, and I'm like, boycott there's no black people nominated. I'm like, yeah, because black people put out trash this year. Okay. We gotta admit that. We gotta own up to that sometimes. Sometimes we put out shit too.
Jada Pinkett Smith this whole year.
I did have other stuff on my likes of the year, so it makes up for it. But I think it's more so because I was looking forward to them and was disappointed. The first one being The Other Black Girl on Hulu. It is a TV show.
I saw I didn't watch it. Didn't get a chance to see it.
Yeah, it's a TV show. It's based off a book that I really liked, and I was excited for the show. I think it should have been a movie though, because the show definitely kind of gave a little bit of CW in the acting and the budget. So,
oh no,
I was actually
I'm gonna say
Oh.
Jasmine has the same reaction I have. Like, oh no, if it's in the acting and the budget, that's the worst part of the CW. Anything.
Yeah.
It's just-
Especially the
that's, like,
budget part, I
one
feel
of the
like.
worst things that you could say about a piece of media, honestly.
it's and I didn't realize because I was literally watching it because it came out like over a month ago, and I had started watching it when it first came out. Why was I literally on episode like 9 yesterday, still trying to watch it, and I still have not finished it yet. I will finish it just so I can say I got through it, but that's what it's been giving me so far. It's basically about this girl named Nella who works at this publishing company in New York. She's the only Black girl there. She's the only Black person there. And another girl named Hazel, who's a Black girl, she starts working there as well. Then all this weird stuff starts happening to Nella. She gets a note saying, "Leave Wagner." So she's like, is it Hazel who's doing this to me? Is it what's going on here? So like really interesting like concepts, cool stuff, but CW for me.
That's harsh.
It's mean.
Especially towards the end, because a lot of stuff happens towards the end that you need a little bit of budget for, but
I actually have that book. I picked it up from a little free library and I haven't read it yet. I didn't even know the concept until I just knew that it was one of those like books I'd heard about until you explained right now. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to move that up to the top of my list because that actually sounds really, really interesting. But you're talking about you're on the 9th episode. Like, I know how big that book is and it's not big. It does not need to be 9 episodes. Like that's treating it like Lord of the Rings, and I know it's not like that. So like, it does not need to be 9 episodes. Just thinking about how big it is, and just modern novels. No, that sounds so unnecessary.
But it's good. I definitely recommend reading it. You could skip the show, but you should definitely read the book.
Yeah, that sounds interesting.
Yeah. Another show that I watched based off a book was called Kindred. It's based off
I like now that I was excited for it and I never got a chance to get around to watching the show, but I love Octavia Butler. She's great.
And I read the book a couple years ago and really liked the book. So I was looking forward to the TV show. I wouldn't say it was as much of a disappointment as the other Black girl, but it just was a little like I wasn't getting as invested in it as I think I should have gotten. It just didn't excite me as much as I thought it would have from the book. So that's just but I don't think it's a bad show. And it's coincidentally also on Hulu. So Hulu, maybe you need to put down the books.
Step it up. Snowfall ended, and y'all then let all the Black media fall apart.
They're like, we got one.
No,
That's famous for a while.
I remembered that one was also on Hulu, and so as you were talking, I was like, dang, has Hulu made a good TV show?
No, well, anything from FX, yes. Like almost all their FX content,
yes. Like that
their
doesn't
original.
Count.
That doesn't count because Hulu just bought the company. That doesn't count.
Oh man.
And then the last one for me, which is surprising to me because I actually really liked the movie after I had watched it. It's a movie we reviewed on here. But as the year has gone on and as I look back on the year, I don't remember. I remember hardly anything about this movie. And it was Polite Society. I barely remember.
Why was that on my disappointments list too?
I enjoyed that movie.
I enjoyed it at the time.
I enjoyed it when I watched it. So Polite Society is a movie that came out this year from I think she's Pakistani or at least South Asian director.
No, that was bad.
about
No,
no,
it
it
was
was
good.
good.
It was good.
I
It's
enjoyed it
not
a
that
lot.
it was
It's
bad.
good. It's just forgettable for me.
Yes,
Okay.
like there's a
I
lot
mean, I
of
guess
things
even
in
for
it
me,
that, like,
considering I wanted to see it, and I'm like, what movie was that?
yeah, I mean, because it was also on my disappointments list because it's like I had a lot of high hopes for it, and then I think it's just I love the concept. I love how weird it is. I love all of the actors in it, but it just doesn't like it doesn't. It has a great setup, and then it kind of drops the ball with the premise at the end to be like, well, we're just going to go for weird. And it's like, no, you were doing so good of balancing weird, but still there's a lot of undertones and like subtle things that you're talking about in the messaging for the movie. And then it's like, skip all that. Let's just be weird at the end. And it's,
Mhm.
and so I'm like, oh man, you dropped the ball. What happened? You were in the fourth quarter. All you had to do was hold it, hold the score. But I mean, that's why it was on my list. Jonathan, you may have different reasons, but
Mine was just because I basically it's forgettable for me. Yeah, I didn't take away much from it in the long run. I remember having a good time watching it, and it was kind of cool how the different with like the different movie making styles that they used. Like it was kind of like a, a like a comic book style, like
very
infused with
Scott Pilgrim vibes.
yeah,
like the first, like the movie Scott Pilgrim. Like very Scott
yeah. And the fact that it was um I think it's a British film, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. With the lead who's Pakistani, and then having all of these other layers. I think that part is cool. But the movie itself, a little forgettable for me.
Mm.
And those are my misses from the year. So
Alex, you sounded really passionate about your hate for Fast X this year. Did you want to elaborate?
Oh, I'm ready.
Well,
I'm
really
ready.
quick,
Let's
I
go.
want to say an honorable mention. I forgot to mention was the Adventures of Superman with Jack Quaid.
Oh
I don't
yes,
like Superman and I don't
yes,
like
it
Batman.
was
I
really
actually don't
good.
like. I don't want to watch any media that usually connects to them. But I really like Jack Quaid. He's been in quite a few stuff I like The Boys, like Star Trek Lower Deck. He's been in quite a few stuff. And the
He's an
Adventures of
Oppenheimer this
Superman.
year.
Oh yeah, well everybody
Oh,
was
that's
an
right.
Oppenheimer that year.
That's
year.
true.
Like even Josh Peck, who
yeah.
what is that
At
even
least
about?
he gets at least he gets lines though. Jack Quaid's just there. He doesn't even say anything.
Well, he's so
Jack
cute.
Quaid's
Though.
like
It's okay if
on
he's
a
just in
mi-
the background, you know.
yeah, Jack Quaid's like on a mission just to be in a
Oh,
little
Boy
bit of
Next
every
Door.
media right now.
You know what I also realized he was in that I didn't realize until I did the marathon? Hunger Games. He's one of the
Oh.
District 1
Yeah.
kids. I
Yeah.
was like, whoa, I didn't know he
Really?
was in this.
Mhm.
Yeah, so Jack Quaid, I forgot I was like, oh, I want to see what else he's in because he's like in Star Trek Lower Deck, which is a show I really love because anything Star Trek, I'm a big nerd about, except Star Trek Discovery. That show's just they should just need to cancel that show. It's not going anywhere. But anyway, The Adventures of Superman, it's on the Max and it's actually really good and really funny too. And the animation is like simple cartoon style, but I advise it's just something, to watch when you're like in a need of a good laugh. But yes, going to my hates the Fast X. That was that I feel like I lost a moment of my life watching that movie. Like that's time I'm never gonna get back.
2.5 hours.
It's
You're
two
not
and a
gonna
half
get
hours
back. It's too damn long.
where nobody
And
really
it's not
dies.
even you don't even get a complete story.
Mhm.
Right, it's only part 1. There's
And you don't find that out until the
to
end.
be continued to this movie.
They have like non-dangerous explosions. They have like not even the
The-
nicest cars they had like
the
in
fact-
the first. Yeah.
The fact that the whole city nearly pretty much got destroyed, and then they had the nerve to say
Rome
no
blows up.
casualties.
No casualties.
Yeah. They literally had like bombs rolling down like what was it, Venice or something? And they're
It's
like
Rome.
everybody's fine. Rome, yeah. I will say Jason Momoa's acting in it was
He's the only
ridiculous.
highlight.
He is the
good.
only
Only
highlight.
one.
He's like,
It kind of surprises me because I went with my family to see Aquaman earlier this week, and
Oh,
I
it
don't know,
was
he needs glasses. Like, I was not impressed.
to,
I also
to
didn't see
this
the first
day.
Aquaman, so I don't know if that's just how he plays Aquaman. But I was like,
I
I haven't
enjoyed the
seen
first
Aquaman 2
Aquaman.
yet, so I can't say like if it's different than the first one.
this is
The
why
first
I
one
like,
I liked.
can
I liked
see
the first one.
Yeah.
I can
For
see
what-
why people like in Game of Thrones. I'm like, it makes sense because he doesn't have to like say anything, but you don't get away with that in Aquaman. So
I think in Aquaman, I feel like he had to be a little more serious. When in Fast X, he was just. It felt like
He
it
was
was
playing
almost like he
around.
was making up
He's a
every
cartoon
line.
character.
He is.
the
He
whole
literally
time.
comes out like some points. He's like, "Hi, Enchante." Like he just like bows, and it's like really ridiculous. There's no seriousness to his character. He's very chaotic evil, too.
Mhm.
So he's just like, I'm just gonna blow everybody up. It'll be fine. Don't worry. Like everybody's gonna die, so you don't have to worry about your families or anything. That's the vibe he's giving. And it's just that was the only thing. But yeah, Fast X didn't need to happen. I don't even know what they're trying to do with this movie. I don't really know what direction they were attempting to go, but there was no reason for this movie's existence. And they keep like Paul Walker's character alive in this movie. They're
Again,
like,
yeah,
"Oh,
the fact
I'm
that
gonna
they
go
have not
find him."
killed off Brian yet is
Yeah,
is
I
kind
don't
of
know why.
cringy.
They're like, "Oh, I have to go home to Brian and make
They
sure
just
he's
need to
safe."
stop bringing him up.
It's very simple
Right.
not to. Um,
I was gonna say, Jasmine, when you said Jason Momoa needs classes for Aquaman, that reminds me of like to this day, whenever I see Henry Cavill, how you would every time we had a movie with him in
Listen,
it, you would
y'all
always
go
talk
stop.
about
Y'all
his-
gonna leave my man
you-
alone, okay?
I like
Henry
him.
is
no, I
all
will
right.
not. I will not leave him alone. He is so stiff. Oh my god, stiffer than like those cardboard cutouts we had of him. Like he is so stiff. I cannot
I
believe.
think
I saw some
Toradors-
quote by Tom Cruise because he was in
He's in Mission Impossible 6.
which-
Mission Impossible 6.
Oh, yeah, he does.
And Tom Cruise was like, "Oh man, this guy's just such a great actor." And I'm like, "Man,
He was
Scientology
good in
really
Mission
got to this
Impossible
man because he
6.
can't even tell the truth anymore." Like, that is how like deep he is. I was
He
like,
was good.
He's
the
good.
Toradors, like whatever.
Impossible 6.
Yeah,
And
was
The
a while
he's
ago.
Witcher.
good in that his body is big and that's like helpful for the character. But his acting, no.
He's good
in
Oh
The
my
Witcher.
God. Also, him having that mustache, I think helps because then you don't have to see as many facial expressions. No, that man cannot act. I stand by it.
He's good in The Witcher. I like him in The Witcher, which he's now
I've never
getting.
seen that.
It's really good. He's getting replaced now by Liam Hemsworth, though.
So was he
Yeah.
that good?
No, they're saying that no, he left of his own accord. He didn't.
well,
It's not
he
like
also
they
got
fired him.
replaced
He
with
chose
Superman,
to
as
leave.
Superman too. So
He did what as Superman?
That's
he
was
got
just a
replaced. He's not
yeah.
gonna be Superman anymore.
That's because they rebooting everything. Everybody got replaced. Gal Gadot, Ben Affleck, Jason Momoa, all of them leaving. Okay, it's not
All
just
I'm
him.
hearing is 3 out of 4 of those people can't act. So anyway, let's move on, I guess.
Also, speaking of Gal Gadot, she came back in Fast X too. She's back in the game.
Literally every character you could think of from like the
and
first.
Brie Larson
yeah.
was randomly in it too.
Yeah, I was confused by her. Everybody you could think of came back for Fast X, so I'm hoping like at least this will end it because they had like every character come back. So it's like maybe this has
Apparently,
given the
Vin
energy
Diesel's
of
got-
like it's gonna end.
Well, Vin Diesel's got allegations coming up, so if it follows the Hollywood Hollywood trail, he ain't gonna be making Fast and Furious movies for long. If
He has
ends
allegations?
up
What
being
do you
guilty,
mean?
he has sexual assault allegations right now.
What? I am not on the internet.
I mean,
Mhm.
oh, another movie that I disliked was Boogeyman. See, I was
I
a
didn't see that.
little.
I forgot.
See, I didn't
to
watch it.
that.
You don't have to. Do not. It was a movie I did anticipate because I like the Boogeyman story. I've read the Stephen King section of it. It's from a book called Night Shift, where it's a bunch of short stories. And I always like the concept of the Boogeyman, the thing you see in the darkness. It's a creepy concept, but it's something I always really like that thought in a non-weird way, I swear. And the first one with, I forget the actor's name, years and years ago, like almost 20 years ago, I thought was actually pretty good. And so I was like, all right, they're going to remake it. They're making it with younger people. These are actually like teenagers that gone through a traumatic event and they're like seeing the boogeyman and something like that. Kind of, but no, it's not. It looks like every haunting movie you've ever seen. Like the blackness in the corner of the ceiling in the dark, it's a little spooky. It just looks like every haunting movie I've ever seen. Very generic. It was very disappointing to me. I was hoping for a little more creepy, under the bed type of style, but like it could have been like a demon, a ghost, or anything. All they needed was a priest, and it would been like, again, every other haunting movie. Speaking of like haunting movies, Insidious, The Red Door. I had a little hope
I didn't see
Interesting.
that.
I forgot about that movie. Yeah.
it's
Well,
it's on
I
Netflix,
never
I think.
I was bitter about watching that because we were supposed to do a promo with them at work, and they were going to pay us all this money to put a red door in front of my job, but they pulled out, so I never saw the movie.
No, screw that. Well,
Mm.
their movie sucked anyway, so it was like, I really like the Insidious franchise. I actually really enjoyed. Maybe not the second one so much. That one was a little slow, but like I like Insidious, and I was excited for the Red Door because apparently they were going back through it. I was like, cool, we get to see the creepy, dead people and the demons again. No, the first half of the movie is the main character, the dad, Patrick
Patrick Wilson.
Patrick Wilson.
Patrick Wilson, just being a sad divorcee, and his family life is screwed up. Yeah, they got divorced, and the family life is all sad and screwed up. And then it's suddenly like they have to band together because now the son's seeing the red door again, and everything's happening, and it's just like, I see the storyline of which you're going, and it's a very predictable storyline because in the end, the mom and dad get back together, the relationships healed between father and son. All they needed to do was face down a literal demon together instead of metaphorically. Instead of dealing with their issues, they just face the actual demon. Because that's the basis of a stable relationship. So I was actually very disappointed by the Red Door. I was hoping for more because, like I said, I love that franchise. The first movie still gets me. I can watch it to this day and still get hit by those jump scares. And I love that. Like every time you watch it, you find a new ghost hiding around. Like they hid like the ghost pretty well, and like you can find them now. And I always feel like I find another one. So it's like that movie still holds up so well. And this was supposedly the last one in the series, but who knows? But those were my main disappointments. I pretty much enjoyed a lot of the shows I've watched and movies I've watched this year. So luckily I haven't been, too sad. Plus the writer strike and the actor strike, so there wasn't much content to be disappointed by. What about you, Jasmine? What are your disappointments?
Oh man. What I should have done is I should have listened to the one we did last year because I'm trying to remember if I brought this up. I have two that I'm going to kind of speed through and then one that I'm hoping that everyone else has seen because I have to talk about it. So, first one, I think last year I talked about Skinamarink, right?
Yes, you did.
The horror movie?
You did talk about it.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Okay.
wanted to see that, but
You didn't like it. I was curious to hear hear you talk about it.
Okay, so for this one and the next movie I'm going to talk about, I'm going to preface, Jonathan, you said something of this nature earlier where like, basically like, it's okay that I wasn't a fan of them because I just like that things are original, right? Especially in horror. Like I appreciate that people are putting their thoughts out there, like their creativity, taking risks. So even though that they weren't for me, I appreciate it. I don't regret seeing either of these movies. Okay. The third one, I still don't regret, but I have words. So Skinamarink. I went to the theater to see it because I wanted to like support our mans, Kyle Edward Ball. And it was 80 to 90 minutes of me like staring at a wall, essentially.
Oh, that's right. One of my coworkers was saying it was like nothing
It had
happened really.
the vibe of a 90s documentary when they show you like scenes or like recreations where it's just like a blank wall or the static of a
Even
TV
that
or
is
something.
generous, honestly.
Yeah.
Like not a lot happens.
I think you see mostly a hallway.
Yeah, you mostly see a hallway or like these little kid feet and like under a bed. So I was not thrilled. To be fair, I knew that it probably wasn't for me. One, I really don't like found footage-esque movies because I don't like this is how I feel about Game of Thrones, y'all. Even I did like Game of Thrones, not the last season, but we're not going to get into it. That's like 5 years ago.
Nobody does.
Why are y'all making movies where I can't see?
It's too dark.
Why are you making movies where I can't see things? That drives me nuts. I get it for some people, you know, the allure or whatever of whatever's not there, not for me. So I already knew I probably wasn't going to like it because it's just not my style. But super happy for him. Kyle Ball, I follow him on Twitter. He seems like a really rad dude. I'm pretty sure he is part of the LGBTQ community. I don't want to like put a label on him, but like I am pretty sure that that's like something I've seen on Twitter. So like cool to have like queer representation in horror. We don't have a lot of that. And we'll support him for other movies that he does. But yeah, not for me. Glad I saw it. Glad I saw it specifically in theaters because I think if I'd watched it in my house,
you might have turned it off.
Yeah.
Or fallen asleep.
Yeah, I kept walking away because I was like, okay. I watched it. So I did have the habit of walking away and being like, oh, I'm just going to go do this. Feel like I'm not going to miss much. So I did.
Yeah, pretty much. I think the biggest thing for me is it felt more like an art installation than a movie. So I think it would have had more of the desired effect if I had to walk through it. Because like if it were a haunted house or something, I would have been creeped out. But otherwise, I was like, why is the Lego on the ceiling? What's that got to do with anything?
It was very what's it called? Like not editorial, but like
it felt like a student film. It just felt like a student film. They were trying to make a point. They were like, you don't need to show all this stuff. You only they only had enough money for one location, somebody's house.
It was his childhood home too. So he was like, Mom, Dad, get out. I got to turn the lights off.
Get out.
And the light goes on the ceiling. So like my parents would have been like, okay, I guess, you know, like ordering pizza in the yard or something. Anyway, we don't got to keep talking about it. So that one, kind of sad about it, but like, again, support ya, homeboy. I watched this one called Enys, Maine. It's spelled ENYS.
I want to watch it. Like I didn't get a chance to.
Okay, again, went to the theaters, gotta support my people. As far as I know, if I remember correctly, first of all, it's a Cornish film. So like Cornwall, England. And Enys, Maine means Stone Island in Cornish. And as far as I know, it's the only horror movie that has ever had the Cornish language in it. So that's pretty cool, right? And if you watch the trailer is everything I love about horror. It was filmed on 16 millimeter. It is grainy and just gorgeous. Looks like a slasher from the 70s. Everything I love about horror. And then you watch it and it's not really a horror film. The trailer is very misleading. Honestly, y'all should watch the trailer because it's really good. But when you watch the movie, I wouldn't even call it slow burn. It's just not a horror movie.
Oh, like there's no payoff at the end?
Not really,
like,
no.
Oh,
it didn't even feel like suspenseful. Like I don't consider it a horror movie at all. So that was kind of sad because I love that aesthetic and I was really bummed about it. Okay. Now, please tell me y'all watched Saltburn.
Yes, I just watched it last week.
I was actually going to watch it tonight.
I was gonna, same. I was gonna watch it this weekend because I haven't got a chance to see it.
I should have sent out info beforehand because I need to talk about it. I don't even know if I would call it a disappointment because I really wasn't that interested in watching it. And then all of my friends were like, Jasmine, have you seen Saltburn? Because like you're one who has to watch it. Like you watch movies like that. And I was like, okay. So I watched it. I took one for the team. Hot trash.
I can understand and I'll ask you like your reasonings and stuff, but like for me I wouldn't call it hot trash, but I would say that it was hyped up a little bit too much for me.
Mm-hmm.
And like people were saying, "Oh my gosh, this is wild. This is crazy." And when I actually watched it, I was like, "That was it."
See, this
So
feels like the way you're describing it. It feels like the same way I felt about Babylon, because I'm a huge
I still
Damien
haven't seen
Chazelle
that.
fan, and I
I
love
haven't
his
seen that yet.
movies. And then I watched Babylon, and I was like, "Well, goddamn, man! Like, was Whiplash and La La Land like all you like? Is that it? Like,
That
because
was
this
it.
ain't it, my brother. Like, I love your
well,
movies, but
for
you
I,
slipping, dog. I don't know what's
I
going
feel
on."
like for Saltburn, it's one of those movies that people are like, you have to go in blind, like not knowing what the movie's about and stuff. Um, and to me, I'm like, I could have known what this movie was about and still enjoyed it the same.
The only thing
I
with
probably would have
Saltburn,
enjoyed it more if I knew what it was
Right.
about. I probably would have had a better time because I would
What's
have at least
the-
expected this boring movie. Anyway, no, let me talk about it right now. Let me talk about
okay.
it right now. First of all, I am tired of seeing rich white people on screen. Boring. Just I'm over it. It's not entertaining unless you do it really well. And like, sorry, Emerald, you didn't do that well. So not great. Just
Got you
like
late.
okay, like oh, like these rich white people, and like they're so quirky and like so different. Okay, whatever. Like y'all all think that. That's why that one dude is like drinking his son's blood or whatever. Like rich people are boring and not smart. So anyway, that's my like soapbox for the day. But yeah, I kind of the same in that it was really hyped up, and everyone, especially Twitter, kept being like, you cannot watch this with your family. Oh my God, do not watch this with your parents, blah, blah, blah. And like, I'm not saying I would have, like, I'm gonna tell my parents to watch it. But I mean, y'all know about my parents. Y'all know, like, my dad is very religious. Like, you know, I have very nice parents, and they probably wouldn't have been thrilled that I showed it to them. They would have been like, Jasmine, for real? You couldn't have watched Lord of the Rings? You know, like they would have been like,
So
really?
I
This
heard
is the
that
movie we're
too.
watching?
So
But
I
like
heard,
they would not have been, I wouldn't have had to apologize to my
They
family.
wouldn't have been running out of
Yeah.
there
Right.
screaming.
been
No, who
uncomfortable.
wouldn't
Yeah.
have? I watched Queen and
We've
Slim with my dad. Did y'all watch that? That has like a 20-minute
Yes.
sex scene.
Yeah, there's a long sex scene. It really is.
Long. And
I'm
you
gonna
hear
say
it's like,
one of my mom's favorite movies is Hot Tub Time Machine. So I think should. It's a weird. She's 62, but one of her favorite movies is Hot Tub Time Machine. And all I kept saying was like, "Oh, you can't watch the bathtub scene. Oh, everybody's talking about the bathtub scene, but you need to see the grave scene."
yeah.
And I saw like the grave scene, and I was like, "Is that it? Is that the one nobody can watch with their parents, or is like the scene?" And I was like, "This is really anticlimactic because all he does is really hump a grave or something."
Yeah, and even the bathtub scene, I'm like, okay, first, a lot of y'all have just not watched media and its shows
movies.
because I feel
See,
like the entirety of Game of Thrones was worse than that.
Yeah, there's
okay,
stuff
then
in
if
Euphoria
it's that,
that's more
because in my
like
mind, I'm like, you guys saying that, or I'm like, because you gotta understand, like, my bar for me will forever be either Below Her Mouth or Blue is the Warmest Color. If you can't top those two movies with like how gratuitous it is, I don't know.
I haven't seen
People,
either of those, but I imagine that it's not that big of a deal. Like when you watch Saltburn, I can't imagine you'll be shocked by anything. Even
I mean,
stuff
if
that
you're
people
saying
are like,
Euphoria
ew,
and
that's
Game of
kind of
Thrones don't
gross.
compare, like, it's
No,
fine.
honestly, I agree with the Euphoria too. It's like this, like
well, actually, you
it's
can tell
fine.
a lot of these people have not watched international films. Because international
Yes,
films
that's a
go
good
like
point.
hardcore
Yeah.
sometimes.
International
Yeah, a
films,
lot
because
is
Blue's
like
Warmest Color is French, so
right.
that's why they do not shy about like it's a movie like Blue's Warmest Color, great movie. It's about it's a lesbian romance. It's about two women falling in love with each other, but they do not. It gets French, so they do not shy away from. Listen, when you go see these two women have sex, goddamn, and we go take a long time. It's gonna take a minute. Like I mean minutes of
Yeah.
just them two going at it.
Yeah,
or the
and I was just
one
like,
the one on TikTok that everybody was they said put on this movie and react to the first 10 seconds of it, and it's like literally the things are in people's mouths. it's literally you see everything.
Oh yeah, I remember
That movie
that.
like that on Netflix. Do you remember
Dude,
that?
there was a YouTuber who he's a gay man and he talks about, grooming and taking care when you have gay sex. He gets very detailed, which too much for me sometimes, but like it's important to have that information out there, especially if you are LGBT and you have not been taught safe sex or feel comfortable having this discussion with friends or family members. Totally understand it. But there's literally a like right about 3 minutes, not even 3 minutes in, like straight up like a minute in, he shows his asshole, like just all of it. And I was that took
You
me
cut
back.
out.
And then when I
So
see
you
these
cut out,
scenes in
so
the
we didn't.
movies,
We missed like
yeah,
a
I was like,
lot of what you just said.
yeah.
No, Alex, you cut out, so we missed a lot
Oh,
of
I
what
cut
you
out.
said.
Well, lovely. Basically, a YouTuber shows his asshole. That was a video I saw on TikTok where people were like, "You have to go watch this YouTuber." He's a gay YouTuber who talks about gay sex and protection and all this stuff. And yeah, in like the first minute, he shows his asshole, and that was more graphic than some of the movies I see. People are like, "Oh, you can't watch with their parents," or "Oh, it's so spicy." I was like, I was more shocked by this man YouTube video.
I
That was
feel
all
like
about grooming.
to give credit to people who are talking about Saltburn though, it's not like nudity that people are weirded out about. It's more like, I guess you could almost call them kinks. But even then, like no one gets like pooped on. So like that's really the part where I would be like, yo, I didn't need to see that. But even then,
Right.
it's not even that. And the whole bathtub scene that they're talking about, like I really thought that someone was gonna get like filleted in a bathtub.
Same. When people were talking about the bathtub scene, I was like, "Oh, this is where it's going down."
Yeah, I was like, oh, this is where everyone's talking about something so scary is about to happen, something so
Yeah.
crazy. Oh my gosh, I'm not gonna be able to sleep. I'm gonna have to cuddle with like my cat. Oh my goodness. And then I saw that and I was like, am I watching a different version? This is not that big of a deal. Yeah, it's a little weird, but like
Yeah.
college boys are weird. Anyway, I'm done.
It's true. As a
I want y'all to watch it because I have
as
questions.
a
Yeah, I'm
college
gonna
boy,
watch
I can attest to that.
I knew the bathtub scene wasn't going to be I haven't seen it, but I figured I'm like, it's not going to be that bad after they're like, oh, the bathtub scene, you need to see the graveyard scene. And I saw the graveyard scene and I was like, oh, if that's the worst that people are now like, this is the worst of it. I was like, this movie's going to probably fall a lot more flat than I was anticipating.
Is this an X-rated episode? Do we need to
all of them are
Say whatever
X-rated
you want.
episodes.
Oh, yeah.
They're all
I was
explicit.
thinking,
They're all marked
in my
explicit.
head, I was like, no, this isn't the worst we've talked about on here, or that I've
No.
heard them talk about. It's okay.
It's the worst it's ever been is male dog nipples, probably. So
If my mom ever listens to this, she's gonna be like, okay, so Jasmine, we can't watch Saltburn. Got it.
solidified. All right.
My mom actually does listen to these podcasts. She'll text me, be like, oh, this is what you guys talked about. And I'm like, yeah. And so sometimes I will have to be on the podcast and be like, I'm sorry, mom. You're like if you want to skip the next 10 minutes, my bad.
You're texting as you're like live recording the podcast. Hey,
Yeah.
A little
As
like,
we're recording,
a
I'm
little
like, I'm sorry,
explicit.
mom, but here's the truth.
right.
Yeah.
You're marking down the time.
I think I talked about her pancakes one time being really like dry, that I didn't like pancakes mainly
I
because it was her
remember
pancakes.
that.
And I put it actually on the video screen. I was like, sorry, mom, I love you. Because I felt so bad about saying that.
Jerome.
All right, so I'm gonna do mine. I'm gonna do it based off of least disappointing to most disappointing or angering, because there is one that infuriates me to no end on the bottom of my list. So least, starting at the top, Rihanna killing it with the Super Bowl 2023 halftime show, and has the nerve to not give us a damn album. We've been waiting for you, girl. It's your time to rise again, like the Phoenix. She even came out in red to look like to shine on us with her glory. And I mean, and congratulations on the 2 babies. I'm sure she's a great mom, and I'm sure she's having a great time with her 2 bundles of joy. But still, sis, we waiting for that next album, girl. Come on now, don't do us like this. Don't leave us hanging like this. You gonna give us that great performance?
I love that me and Jonathan had like the same reaction. As soon as you said Rihanna, we were both like, "What'd you say about her, girl?"
Y'all know y'all gotta keep y'all. You know I gotta keep you guessing. I gotta keep you guessing.
But that's a fair point, because it's like, well, I mean, you know, she got a family, she got a business, but it's also like you were on the biggest stage that you're ever gonna be on, and you didn't drop nothing. When you dropped,
Gave us that Black Panther song, and that's
like
it.
months before, and that's it, and then dipped. Like it didn't even go that hard. But anyways, like
that was
Shake the table. Shake the table.
That was a shame. Also, I totally forgot Black Panther came out this year. Actually, no, I'll take back what I said.
It came out last year, right?
Did it come out last year?
I think it came out at the end of the year.
The newest one came out this year.
Probably in February, right?
I think.
Hold on. I'll look it up. Continue with your list.
Did,
okay, I got it.
If it did, I will take back what I said about Guardians and put Black Panther up there too, because I did like Black Panther 2 as well. But anyway,
it came out last year. You're good.
Oh, it did come out last year. Okay. But anyway, yeah, so Rihanna was like the joke one. I like she didn't actually do anything wrong. I'm just disappointed we didn't get more Rihanna music because I love Rihanna so much. But still, nonetheless, she was great this year at the Super Bowl. Fantastic performance. Fantastic just in general. Her and Keke Palmer both showing out with the pregnant bellies, being like, look, we still out here working. All right. So he's still doing the damn thing. So shout out to her. Good job. Below that, Megan. I didn't. It's not that I just hated Megan. It's that I wanted it to be.
Stallion.
No, not the stallion.
The robot.
No.
I'm sorry, we were on woman. Music. I was like, no, my girl.
No, Megan the Stallion was fine. She did great this year. But no, Megan the movie. I was really looking forward to it, and it's not. What disappointed me about it is not that it was bad, but that like I wish it had been weirder. Like I feel like they were trying to play it too safe, and to the point where they even, because it got so popular, they changed the rating. They like re-edited the movie to make it PG-13 so they could get more butts in seats, as opposed to leaving it R. And I really wish they had left it R. Like it you can tell the movie was supposed to be rated R, and they edited it down and really pared it down.
They should have like released the R-rated version on like Peacock or something.
They said they're going to. I thought they're supposed to be releasing it on Peacock.
Well, no, now that you've said that, I'm like, I feel like I have seen it as unrated on some things, but I could be wrong.
I agree with you. It could have been more, and I wasn't expecting much from it, and I feel like I got exactly what I was expecting. It felt very mediocre, honestly. You're right, they could have done more.
Yeah, I wanted it to go super crazy with how weird it is. Maybe their next movie will be their next year. We have Imaginary coming out, which is also made by the same people, about an imaginary friend that's like in the form of a teddy bear that's killing people in a horror movie. So hopefully that'll be one to maybe like push the envelope and do something different and crazy. Because I love Malignant, so. Like I really had a lot of high hopes for Megan, and I really wanted that movie to be kind of the same vibe as Malignant. So we'll see. But yeah, there like although there's talks of maybe having a Megan too. So I would love if they did.
I think it's confirmed.
Okay, cool. So, below that, Joyride.
Just real quick, the unrated version is on Amazon.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Joyride is my next one after that. Another movie where I was really excited to see it.
I heard that got people were disappointed in that.
It's what it is that like, because like it actually makes me think of another one that was on my greats list that I forgot to mention. No Hard Feelings. No Hard Feelings was the rom-com of this year. That was the raunchy-esque comedy that knowed how to stay in the pocket but still have like something to say. And still have like
Not really, Anyone But You.
That movie isn't even out yet, but no, it's gonna be trash. I'm sorry, Sydney Sweeney. Fire your agent because they putting you in trash. This movie
I
and
think it came out
Madam
last weekend
both trash.
or this weekend.
Like, don't
that
let them
one
do
has
this
like
to
a
you.
2005 vibe. When I saw a couple, I
Exactly.
saw another trailer after Thanksgiving, and I was like, this feels like it should have been set in 2005. This like fake relationship going on was why this is terrible.
But No Hard Feelings was great. Jennifer Lawrence was amazing in that movie. But it's like that was the movie to see, I think, this year of like the raunchy-esque comedy, because Joyride, it's the raunchiness is there for sure. You know, there's a lot of sex, there's a lot of jokes about, you know, putting drugs in buttholes, and you know, you see a full vagina in this movie. But like at the same time, it's like it feels like a lot of the writing as far as like the main story is pretty weak, as far as like the main characters like squabble and stuff, even though it has an interesting setup. Like I love this idea of this journey of this Asian American woman who's adopted, trying to find her lineage, granted for the reasons of like getting a job, but still like there's a lot of heart in that story. And in some areas they deliver, and in other areas they really don't. And then a lot of the raunchy jokes, they're supposed to kind of hold up the movie, some of them land and some of them feel very forced, of like you just really wanted to have like a really raunchy sex comedy featuring 4 Asian women, but it just like sometimes it feels a little forced in certain areas. But it's not that it's awful. It just really it just was disappointing, in that I really wanted it to be kind of like another Crazy Rich Asians or something like that, you know, of like this all Asian cast, or majority Asian cast rather, because I think there are a few white characters or whatever, but for the most part it's all Asian cast getting a chance to really do their thing. Like but you know, still I think the main 4 stars are amazing. I love all 4 of those ladies. I hope to see them do bigger and better things going forward. Now to the stuff that's trash. Like those were the ones that got the light treatment because they were okay. They're trash, except for Rihanna. She gets nice treatment because she didn't do anything. But anyway, trash. Starting with Black Mirror season 6. Because this is not a Black Mirror season.
I knew someone was going to put it on there. I knew someone.
This is some baby back bullshit is what it is. Because this is a waste of time. You should have made Red Mirror, which is what he wanted to do in the first place. And you could tell because 3 of the damn episodes are horror stories. Stop. Just stop. Like they're great and they're good.
They were okay.
Just make that show. Make that show. Don't make Black Mirror. Now, granted, it's higher on the list for me of disappointments because still love Into the Sea or whatever that one's called with Josh Hartnett and Aaron Paul.
Aaron Paul. That was
great episode. So really great story. Really good. And then also Everyone Hates Joan. Also really good.
Joan is awful.
Oh, Joan is awful. Sorry. Yeah, I mean, it could have been called Everybody Hates Chris.
At the end, everybody did
Everybody hates Joan.
Yeah, like it
fits. Like it fit. That was good rhythm.
Yeah, I would have been with it. But I like those 2 great Black Mirror episodes. So I won't take that away from the show. I won't. And the horror stuff, it's not as bad. It doesn't fit. It doesn't belong here. That's the issue. That's the problem. This belongs in a different show that you should be making. And I would really love to see Charlie Parker do horror, because just off these 3 episodes alone, he proves that he can do it. And it'd be cool. Even some of the other Black Mirror episodes have horror elements in them that he clearly understands the genre. So make the horror show. Just make Red Mirror. No one's going to complain. And honestly, horror anthologies are where it's at, because also I forgot to put on my list, but I loved Fall of the House of Usher. Amazing this year. I love that show so much.
Need to watch that.
Mike Flynn.
The actor in there. What's his name? He was in iZombie. He's been in a lot. He was
don't ask me. I remember all the cast.
He's an Indian actor. I forget his name. I love him. He's so good in everything he does, and that's one of the main reasons I want to watch Fall of the House of the Usher.
He was great in
What
Fall
you-
House Usher and in also in Midnight Mass.
Yeah, Midnight Mass. He was the
Like they're
the cop or the sheriff.
yeah, like they're like the like horror shows on Netflix right now are doing well. Even in animation, Castlevania's amazing. I love
Yeah.
that show. So like make Red Mirror. Just do that. and you'll be fine. And you won't get these complaints from people. All right? Black Mirror is over. It's been over for 2 seasons, but we've just been accepting the seasons because you keep giving them to us. It's over. It's done. We're not. You're out of ideas. Clearly, just let it rest.
I kind of did like the paparazzi one. I kind of did like that.
But that
one.
was still like horror.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad, but it was still like.
But it's like
it
what
belonged
does
with
this
the
have to
horror,
do with
not Black
Black
Mirror.
Mirror?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, now 2 worst ones of the year for me. Starting with The Idol. You were talking about Saltburn. We gotta talk about The Idol. This
I'm just.
Well, you
I
were
will-
brave for even watching that.
Listen,
Well,
Sam Levinson is now 2 for 2. We got Malcolm and Marie. Now we got The Idol too. And so far it's looking like you can't do shit except Euphoria, bruh, because it's getting bad now. It's
Not
getting
Malcolm and
bad.
Marie. Jonathan, fight
I
back.
know.
And
No,
Euphoria
every
season
time his
2,
grade gets
actually,
lower and
I'm
lower.
sorry. I'm sorry. That's 3. We're on 3 now. Euphoria season 2, Malcolm and Marie, and now this show.
Euphoria
You need to
season 2
stop.
wasn't that bad.
It wasn't that bad, but it
I
still
actually
was a
liked it.
disappointment too. It was on my disappointment list for 2023.
I'm sorry.
But
Or
no,
2022.
I will forever be mad at that show, The Idol. I didn't even finish it because every time I started to watch it, and I told you guys this,
Yeah, because
every
your Roku kept burning up.
it kept burning. It was the only show, like literally every single time I watched it, it would say, your device is overheating. It didn't do that with anything else. And I do not know why. And so
It was trying to
it was
save
like,
you.
it was
Yes, it is. It's trying to spare you the time
It
because
was-
I wasted goddamn 5 hours watching that shit. And I'm gonna be honest, that's like you were mad at Fast X. I'm mad at The Idol. That's 5 hours of my life. I'm not getting back watching this shit. And I gave him the benefit of the doubt too. I was excited for that shit. I said it in my expectations of 2023. Yo, The Idol coming out. It's got The Weeknd in it, and it's made by Sam Levinson. I'm excited to give it a chance. I gave it a chance. So you know what it did? Shit in my mouth. That's what it did. Disappointed in every single possible way.
Every time you mentioned that show, you were like, "Oh, I'm watching this episode. It wasn't great, but I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to watch the next episode. I'm hoping. I'm hopeful." That's what you kept doing, everyone.
I admire your optimism because one, the Rolling Stone article. I mean, like,
oh yeah.
I
Yeah,
will always
already
put
the
that
Rolling
there.
Stone article had me
Two.
concerned, but I was like, I'm gonna give it a chance, even though this does sound a little dicey. This sounds dicey.
Well, two, that clip that The Weeknd posted, it's him, Johnny Depp's daughter,
Yeah, Lily Rose Depp
and oh shoot,
and
from
Dan
Creed.
Levy.
Yes, they're all sitting there, and I was like, man, we all thought that Superman can't act.
Here's Jasmine. You know what it is though? Here it is.
Henry
He posts all,
Cavill, no, put them in a room. Henry Cavill, Oscar. Let me be his agent. I'm so serious. Oscar. He would be Oscar nominated because The Weeknd cannot act. Also, like, man, corny.
Jasmine.
Corny. No wonder you can't keep a girl. Corny.
He posted that clip.
More corny than Nebraska.
He posted that clip, and I was like, well, you know, it's a little weird, but it's like sure it's edgy. That clip isn't even in the damn show.
Oh my god, you're lying. No, really?
Oh, the whole
man.
thing was in the show. It didn't even
Some
make
people
the
was eating them
final
up.
cut.
They decided not to. They cut it.
Right, they cut it. So it's just like you did all that posting, all that boasting, only for them to cut your shit anyway. But on top of that, it's like Sam Levinson, for real. I need you to go to the therapist. For real. And then also, because if any of half of what the Rolling Stone article was saying is true, and even though a lot of that stuff got cut, the stuff that they still kept in, I was like, do you think this is sexy? All right. I know you may have watched Basic Instinct and thought, I could do this. Newsflash, you can't. Okay? You can't. Just stop. Leave it alone. It's over. Okay.
Well,
No, you
now-
can't do Basic Instinct. You know how I know? Because a bunch of other people have tried, especially black people. I don't know why we keep wanting to make this movie, try to make Fatal Attraction again, but with black people, and we just keep failing. Stop it. Like, stop trying.
I'm dying.
Now that I'm
Well,
thinking, I'm
now-
going through a list of movies in my head. Even Beyonce was in one called Obsession.
That was saying.
Obsessed.
Trying
Wow.
Obsessed.
Obsessed.
when she says she came into my house, she touched my child. She should have won an Oscar for that.
That's true. I will give her that. The passion.
No, listen, her Oscar opportunity was Dreamgirls, and that was it. But anyway, no,
what's the other one that she does? Is it I'll Show You Crazy? Is that the
yeah,
is
I'll
that the
show
movie?
you crazy.
Yeah, that's the same movie.
No, but she does have a great line in there, though. Like, you got to give her credit for this line when he's like, "Where am I supposed to go, Sharon? To hell!" But until then, I hear the Four Seasons is open. Like, I was like, all right, that one's good. You got to give her that one. That was a good line and delivery. It was pretty solid. But like that, and then also, first of all, I need The Weeknd to stop pouting. Because the whole thing of like, y'all didn't like my show. Listen, Jason Derulo, calm down, all right? Cats was trash, and so was The Idol. Y'all need to let it go. No one liked your content, okay? Get over it. It's the name of the game. You make a show, and then it be trash. No one gonna like it, all right? Stop whining.
I
You
will
have
never
a guy.
forgive you two for making me watch Cats.
And then it's like, so the Weeknd, first of all, but then also I need Sam Levinson to meet real people. And the reason why is because Lily Rose Depp, there's not a single damn outfit she has in that whole damn show where her nipples aren't standing at attention. Everything, because every damn outfit's so damn tight. You could see her swallow a goddamn drop of water. It's ridiculous. She has the people do not just walk around wearing fucking latex that's so tight they can barely breathe every single day in the comfort of their own goddamn home.
I'm sorry, no. When it comes to Sam Levinson, nothing will ever beat in Euphoria season 1 when Maddie has on those purple pants at that carnival. Do you know what I'm talking about? The
yes.
open
Oh
ones.
yeah.
Yes.
I was like, you cannot be for real. My parents would not. I would have never left the house. In fact, I would have gone straight from the house to a convent. There's no way. There's no way I would have ever been able to leave my house like that.
I was so frustrated. I was like, listen, I won't say that I know every woman's like in and outs of her life or whatever, and I can't relate to the experience not being a woman in real life, but I'm pretty sure that I could just surmise that most women in the comfort of their own home will just wear some sweatpants or at least a damn t-shirt once in a while. Like, for God's sake.
Women we're cold. We're cold.
That's
you know?
true too. We get cold.
We want the layers because I'm a little cold right now. Honestly, I feel like I'm barefoot and I regret it. I should have put on socks.
So that's The Idol. Trash. Just trash. So much so, I was going to do a mini review as when the first episode started. And by the time I hit the end of it, I was just like, this ain't even worth my time. I've already given enough time to the show. I'm not going to do a whole damn mini review for this. No. So you're getting it now. This is the mini review of The Idol. Hated it. Complete F. Failure from the top to the damn bottom.
That song that came out of it though, with The Weeknd, Madonna, and
no, those were week 2. All of them. Like all of them were week 2.
Ooh,
all right.
ooh.
And I know because I've liked the past 2 damn Weeknd albums where he actually put some time and effort into them. No, it's like this show has no redeeming qualities. It isn't worth anyone's time. And a matter of fact, The Weeknd, this is the reason that The Weeknd, we were wondering why he got snubbed at After Hours. It was early karma for this show. Snubbed at the damn
karma.
Grammys.
Damn.
Early karma. That's gonna be it's gonna be the thing. You haven't
Waste
done it
of
yet, but I
time.
know you're going to. So this is your early karma.
We know it's only gonna get worse.
It's a shame too because Lily Rose Depp is actually really good. I hope she gets a better project to be in. And yeah, so there you go. There's The Idol. But even The Idol was better than my boy Zack Snyder coming out here with Rebel Moon on Netflix. And this just came out.
Oh, that's a recent.
The wound's still fresh.
They're still
But
advertising.
God damn it. Like, I'm sick and tired of this. And man, this is the one that's made me angry. And the reason why is not only because people are defending this movie. You're like, well, it says part 1 on the movie. You gotta give it a chance. No, this is the movie we have now. So I'm judging the movie we have now. This was the worst. This is a waste of 2 hours and a good concept if ever I've seen one. But even then, I can't give it that credit because it's just Star Wars again. This was a Star Wars pitch that Lucasfilm said, hell no. And then he was just like, well, fine, I'll make my own movie. And damn if it's not just Star Wars, down to the point where a woman has laser swords. They shoot lasers. There's a galactic empire of space Nazis that worships a galactic empire that's taken over everything. And then on top of that, if that wasn't worse, there's not only is it Star Wars, it's also Magnificent Seven, because the plot of the movie is that there's this farm town, and then this woman who's there, played by Sophia Boutella, is like, oh man, the Empire's trash. We got to go get some warriors so that we can fight the Empire. So she goes across the galaxy to find a bunch of badass people to come back with her, and they do nothing with any of these characters. All of them are so cardboard thin. I had Jonathan's power went out.
Yeah,
So that's why
I just got the message.
No, Jonathan.
Oh,
We
we
hardly
lost
knew
Jonathan.
Glad you're back.
Yeah,
Thank
But,
you. I'm glad to be back.
yeah, I'm glad you're okay.
Mhm.
But yeah. So anyway, Rebel Moon. It was trash. Okay,
Hey,
like
it stopped literally. I heard hell no, and then everything.
Listen,
turned
what
off.
happened is he did his Star Wars thing. Like he went to Star Wars, or Lucasfilm was like, here's my Star Wars pitch. They were like, no. So then he went back and just made the movie. And it's just a complete ripoff in every way. But what infuriates me more than anything else is that all the characters are so paper thin. There's no characterization for anybody. I've never seen a movie so like, you know what this movie reminds me of as far as like a movie where it has a bunch of characters, but you don't give a shit about a single one of them? It's like Valentine's Day all over again. All over again.
Valentine's Day literally sent me into a panic. There's too many characters.
It doesn't even have as many, and it's still just as useless to have these characters in here. And then on top of that, it's one part of a 2-part movie. That means that equivalent, like technically the movie is 4 hours long, but he's just splitting it in 2. And if the movie's Magnificent Seven is one movie that's like an hour and a half. Even the remake is only like 2 hours. There's no reason to have 2 parts of this goddamn movie. And in a year where we've gotten how many part 1s? We got Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning, Fast X, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. We like, you know what I mean? Like, we've got all these movies that are like part 1s. This is the one that absolutely did not need to be 2 parts in any way, shape, or form, because you have better movies to base your shit off of that used their time way better. Stop this. Stop making 4-hour movies, okay? Just stop it. Stop wasting people's time. That's what I want in 2024 more than anything else. For all these directors and writers to stop wasting people's time.
Here.
Fair enough. Yeah,
That is
So that's my
great.
disappointments list for 2023. There you go.
I guess I'm going to take Rebel Moon off my watch list. So
I mean, you can watch it if you want. But
I know,
this
this
is
is-
going to be a waste of time.
I don't know that
This is
energy.
really doing this is really informing. Like, there are things that I'm like that I was thinking about watching, and now I'm like, there's plenty of other stuff I could watch. So
That's true.
I would say what's funny too is everyone's review who like tries to give Rebel Moon Part 1 a positive review. They're like, well, you know, this movie wasn't that great, but I bet all the great stuff will be in Part 2. I'm like, so what you're telling me is you don't need to watch this damn movie then. That's what I'm hearing.
Well, isn't that what they said about Dune?
But
Like,
the
second
difference
part's
is,
gonna be-
no, the difference is Dune actually is a long story. It requires 2 parts to tell all of it
Fair enough.
for it all to make sense. This movie like from what we've seen so far, I'm feeling like this could have been easily truncated down to the first 30 to 40 minutes of your movie. And then the rest be just action. You did not need to make a 2-hour setup with boring ass characters. The worst, there are 5 characters, all of them with unique, great backstories. You know, when we find out how and when we find out about these 5 great backstories, hell, some of them, even their names, is at the end, just before the 3rd act final battle, when the villain tells us this in a monologue telling us his plan. That's the first time we find out a lot of these characters' names and reasons for even being here. She shows up and she's like, we need to fight the Empire. And a lot of them are just like, okay. And they just leave. That's the scene. We don't even see them talk to each other after that. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? Angry. Anyway,
all right. Well, it's out with the
2024.
bad.
Going off that
It's
note,
out with the bad and in with the good, in with the new. Now, lastly, I know we've already been going on for a while, but
This episodes are always the longest ones, though. Because we have to get, there's a lot. You know, we're wrapping up an entire year and then introducing a whole new year. Like,
exactly.
it kind of, it's we got a lot to talk about.
In that year, we will introduce. Who wants to go first with their expectations and things they're excited about for next year? Alex, you look like you want to go. Oh,
yeah,
Jerome,
I'm say Alex. No, I was say Alex. You look so excited. That's what I was going to say. I was actually going to also put it on Alex.
my face looks excited. Do I look excited? I didn't know I could
You
do
look
that.
like you're thinking. You look like you're really thinking.
The way you said, my face looks excited.
I know what my face does. I get it. I'm not this. This isn't showing shocked either. It's okay. Well, yeah, there are quite a few movies. I'd like to see. Not too many shows. I'm excited for The Boys season 4.
Oh, that was on my list too.
Yeah, I love Carl Urban. Anything he's in, honestly. But I don't really have. I'm hoping. Abbott Elementary comes back in 2024.
Yeah, I think they announced a date. I think.
Did they? Oh my god.
Yeah, is it February? Maybe.
Oh, fantastic! That show is so great, and it's so like relatable, and it's owed so much more than it's been receiving, especially when they handle like also the romantic relationships in there. They're very sensible too.
Definitely.
Yeah, so I think that's great. So I'm really excited for that show to come back. And then,
especially because the show has a discount Jonathan in it. Because I feel
you do, man. I'm sorry, but you do look so much like him.
And a lot of his mannerisms, I'm like, that's how Jonathan would say that.
Also, when your eyes get wide, when he gets shocked and you get shocked, because usually you can pop out your eyes a little bit when you're like, what?
Like, Gregory's not entirely like you, but he has a lot of you in him. And it might much so that I'm like, does the writer know Jonathan? Is that who they base this character on?
They need a stunt double.
I just need. I'll play his brother in season 4.
Manifest it.
Yeah.
or like cousin or something.
Cousin, because they actually said in like the second season,
I think he has
a brother.
Okay, child. His cousin.
But a movie I'm excited for is Kingdom of Planet of the Apes, because the Planet of the Apes series has actually been going well. It's held on to its own story. It hasn't kept trying to like jump backwards and be like, hey, kind of hit that nostalgic button for you, which a lot of these movies that are, remade or things like that try to hit that nostalgic button or try to do a lot of like a winking to the audience. Hey, you remember this? Kingdom or the Planet of the Apes movie, the newer ones have definitely become their own. They're going their own route. They're getting their own rhythm, and they've been graphically good too. The monkey, like I know the monkeys or the apes, a lot of makeup instead of CGI. The surrounding areas isn't heavy on CGI either. They're in real time, real actors and things like that, and it gives a more phenomenal look where it's like, yeah, this this looks like something that could be partaking in this world now instead of like, like Avatar where everything just looks like computerized.
They say this
So-
one is supposed to be the one that is the connecting thread. Like this is when they finally will like connect to what would be like the first Planet of the Apes movie.
From
In some way, not like entirely, like they're not redoing the first movie in this one, but
Yeah.
just that like the astronauts are supposed to. I think the astronauts are going to be in this one. Who
So
like get
from
lost in the wormhole.
a
and
couple
stuff.
things that I heard, it's that the astronauts are coming at the end.
Mm,
So
okay.
this is going to establish that this is the way the world is now, and like this is the world you're finding it, and introducing the scientists you see in the original Planet of the Apes. So they're establishing all those scientists that you meet, and then you see the kind of that spaceship crash at the end. And then of course Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse, the second one.
Mhm.
I raved about that movie. I think it's I like how Jasmine's watching The Tale. I was watching it earlier. He's so happy. Look at that. His contentment tale.
Oh.
I've said how that movie is very much set a new animation. The way they did everything, the way they blended everything, the dialogue, the voice acting, everything. There was not a thing I didn't like about that movie. So I'm excited to see the second version, the second part to this. But you're right. I am hoping they treat the animators better because of all the stories about how they worked them so hard. They were working them overtime with no extra pay. They were pushing them. A lot of the animators quit. So I'm also worried about what it's now going to look like if they can't find a way to get the original animators, back on staff and working.
Mhm.
So that one's a little iffy. I'm not necessarily excited for this film, but I do want to watch it because I'm interested to what they're going to do. Twister 2.
Oh,
Or-
I forgot they had a
the
sequel
remake.
coming
Sorry,
out.
it's not. I don't think it's a part 2. I think it's a remake.
I didn't know
Oh,
what they were gonna do.
Yeah,
that.
it's a twist. It's just called Twister, I think.
Yeah, it's coming out. Twisters. Not
Oh,
Twister.
Twisters.
It's like add an S, to make it its own instead of the Twister.
Instead of
the Twister.
They make it Twisters. It's it's a.
This just sounds like a
remake.
wrestling name. Like the Twister's gonna come up in there in the ring, and he's gonna wring your neck. Oh yeah!
I can see that. I don't know if they're gonna try to like remake it or like make a sequel to something of it. But I had actually recently watched the first Twister or the original Twister, and it still holds up pretty well. It's
Oh,
still
yeah.
interesting, except for the whole him holding himself with a JC Penney belt.
What's wrong with that?
Oh, come on. So the Twister takes the whole house and like leaves the exposed pipes, and all he is using is his belt to hold on against this.
No, he's using
Monstrosity of
a
a
belt
Twister?
that's attached to pipes that are in the foundation, which is a concrete foundation in the ground.
You tell me he had enough strength to hold on to a belt against
The way
like.
y'all remember
Twister.
this,
I know,
I
right?
have no recall right now for this at all.
Listen, you like a movie in which a man jumps through a damn shark in a tornado, okay? We're not gonna play this game.
Leave Sharknado alone. You know what?
But
You can say what you want. That movie will forever be in your head, won't it? It'll never leave you. It'll be there the day you die. You remember
But-
that film.
Twisters has a good cast though, so it should be good.
Yeah, I've heard they've gotten some good people. They gotten Glenn Powell, Daisy Edgar
Daisy.
Jones, Anthony Ramos is the only ones I'm seeing right now. But that one,
The guy who played the Fry's employee in Nope, he'll be in it.
Oh, cool.
oh, I really like him.
I love that that's the only way you know him. You don't know his name.
I don't know what other
No, I
stuff he
haven't-
did. I
wait.
haven't seen him.
Brandon Perea.
He was
Okay.
great. Yeah.
He was good.
Another movie that I'm not necessarily excited want to see it is Beetlejuice 2
Mm.
because
Hmm.
I don't know where they're going with this. I don't know what their plan
No,
is.
Jenna
and
Ortega.
I'm trying.
That's all I know.
Yeah, and Winona Ryder as well, and Michael.
mean, Jenna
Keaton, so they
Ortega
did get
is
the
just-
original cast.
She's sucking up all the like what
The-
would be like the 90s like Tim Burton-esque horror stuff.
Yeah.
She's like, I guess you could call it. Could you call her a scream queen, like the modern day scream queen?
Mhm.
Yeah,
I think
I
so.
would.
I
would.
think
she was
that's
literally in Scream. Yeah, but
Yeah.
that movie, I don't I'm trying not to watch any trailers. I'm trying not to read about it because I do want to go in fresh because I am letting my own imagination go to what the Beetlejuice 2 could be about or like what direction they're going to try to go in. And I don't want outside influences being like, oh, it wasn't as good as, original Beetlejuice, or, oh, they shouldn't have done this, or, oh, it's like what they did with Saltburn. It was so amazing. This one scene is the best scene in the world. And it's like, oh, that was so trash. That was trash. So I'm like trying to go in with a little fresh when it comes to Beetlejuice 2, because I think it'll just be interesting where they're trying to go with this sequel, because it's also been like, how many years? The original one came out in 1988. I'm not good with
it's been
math.
a long time.
Yeah. But so I want to know what's going to happen with that. And other than that, just like a few movies here and there. I've seen some horror films that I maybe want to kind of see, but I'm still unsure just with the way horror films have been going again lately. They get their highs and then they get those drops again. It's like you get 2 or 3 and then you're like, yes, horror films are back. And then you're back to like, well, I want to support the genre to make sure that they still make horror films. Still want to support.
Yeah.
So you get Talk to Me and then you get Insidious Red Door. Humbling experience. What about you, Jasmine? And your little toothless. Oh my god. I'm in love with him.
I'm a mother now. Okay,
welcome
so
to our family, because I got my
family.
My rotisserie chicken back there.
Right.
I only have
got mine.
Stop embarrassing me.
Thanks
Mine
to
is
my
right
girlfriend, I only have stepchildren, so I.
And there's
Yes.
Mr. Gibson.
Yes.
He had his vet appointment today.
Oh,
Is that why his eyes are red?
No.
He was crying. He's like, he took me to the doctor.
No, he did very well. He did very well.
Look, do you see? That's your cousin.
Oh.
That's your cousin. 2 cousins. Mom, stop embarrassing me. Ow.
No, he's done.
Okay. Yep, we're done.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna bother picking up Cheddar. He's like asleep.
Okay, so Megan Thee Stallion's new album. I don't think she's put out a release date, but she has said that she's working on a new album. I imagine it will be released sometime in the next 365 days. 366 days.
Yeah, because the leap year.
That's right. And today's the 30th, so 367.
Oh,
I forgot about the leap year, though. Good point. Okay. That gives her 367 days to give me what I need. Yeah. Did y'all ever see It Follows?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Jonathan?
Is the sequel?
I know, but I watched.
How you have not seen it yet? It's been out forever.
Seriously, come on.
But a couple, like earlier this year, I watched Missing, which I heard is like in the vein of It Follows.
No,
Missing, the movie.
Not.
My mom is missing. Oh, okay, never mind.
Not even like a little
completely
bit.
different. No, you think it's searching.
Searching.
Oh, okay,
Searching
never mind.
is different.
It Follows is the STD one.
Yeah,
Yes.
the like horror STD. Yeah,
one of
demon
my
STD.
favorite horror films of all time. Actually, all time, like on my top 10 easily.
That's a good
and
one.
They just announced a sequel that's coming out next year.
Yeah, I heard about that. I'm so excited.
I'm pumped. I'm very curious as to how they're gonna do it. I don't know what, like, if our homegirl, I'm not saying anything because Jonathan hasn't seen it. What are you doing over there?
The life of a cat.
Messing with my computer.
What are you doing and what are you eating?
Sir. Okay. Furiosa.
I am excited for this. Chris Hemsworth, it's his time to act, goddammit. This is his time. But also Anya Taylor-Joy, also.
Anya,
amazing.
Our girl Anya Taylor-Joy, our girl, our good sis. I am very excited for it. I loved is it by the same person?
I don't think it's directed by George Miller. I think he is a producer on it. I don't know if he's like directing. I don't think so.
I loved the last Mad Max. That would have been like 10 years ago now, too, wouldn't it?
It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while.
He
is directing it.
It is directed by him. Right? Oh, I'm so excited.
He is directing it as well. So yeah, okay, never mind. I stand corrected. He is directing this one as well.
Oh, I'm pumped. Yeah, I'm excited for that one. That one's going to be really good. And
Do you think Charlize Theron is going to show up? Like they're going to do like forward into the time, and then it's like Charlize Theron will be back as Furiosa?
interesting. I didn't even consider that. I'm not sure. I do love.
I would
our
love that.
girl. I do love her, but all I've been thinking about is Anya, and how sad I am that she's not going to be in my other movie that I'm really looking forward to, Nosferatu.
I forgot they were
Yes,
making
that was
that.
actually-
Yeah.
Our boy Robert Eggers is about to be 4 for 4 in good ass films. I'm super excited.
Wait, is
I'm
he-
excited because Nicholas Hoult is going to be in it.
Oh, really?
I love him.
That's a great
My
pick.
boy.
That's a great pick
Yeah,
as
that's a good
My
pick.
boy. And it has Jerome was singing her praises earlier, so I just have to say Lily Rose is also going to be in it.
Oh.
Yeah, she's great. She's great, and they wasted her in the Idol, so I'm hoping she gets another
her
chance.
actual debut.
Yeah, like get her chance to like get her flowers. Okay.
We'll see. We'll see. I did want Anya in it. I heard that she couldn't because of scheduling, just like scheduling conflicts. Because I mean,
she's
she's
busy.
been in. Oh, I guess only 2 of his last 3 films, but
Yeah, The
she is
Northman
busy.
and then
Booked and busy. Booked and
The
busy.
Witch,
She's got
right?
she's got her stuff going on. Yeah, The Witch and The Northman.
Yeah, The Northman.
So yeah,
Love
those
that
are those are I know. I love all of his movies. So I'm very excited. I also love the original Nosferatu.
Yeah.
My brother will tell you when I was in high school, I had a friend over and I didn't want him to hang out with us because I'm an older sister. And so I put Nosferatu on thinking that he would want to leave, and he
Really?
didn't. And we
He
watched
ate
the
it
whole
up.
movie together. He like loves it. So so I'm excited for it because the original is a really good movie. I don't know if it's supposed to be faithful to that at all, but Robert Eggers can do no wrong. So those are my hopefuls.
Nice. And now I'll have to watch It Follows to prepare.
Yes, please. It's so
You should have been
good.
watching It Follows.
It's
Okay.
so good. Okay, calm down.
It's good, damn it.
Your energy going in 2024 is right up there, Jerome. Keep it. Keep it.
Me and the Red Pandas are coming into 2024 fist balled up, ready to go.
All right. Are we on to Jonathan? Is it
Jonathan.
Sure. All right. Well, speaking of Robert Eggers, bless you. His twin brothers are also directors, and they are going to be coming out with the movie that I actually talked about last year, but it just still hasn't come out yet, which seems to happen for me in these expectations.
It does. It happens a lot.
I expect something to come out in the following year, but it doesn't end up coming out until the year after. Cough, Leave the World Behind. Noticeably absent from this retrospective.
Have you still not watched it?
No, I did. So I'll move on to the next. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I thought it was fun. I thought it was enjoyable. But speaking of Robert Eggers, his twin brothers are directors, and they're going to be doing a movie called The Front Room for A24 starring Brandy. It should be coming out this year because they announced it in 2022. So hopefully it comes out
you've been talking about this movie for a minute now.
Yeah.
Yes, I do know what you're talking about. I forgot about that. Okay, yeah, I got it on my list.
So hopefully they announce a release date towards the beginning of the year, and then it comes out sometime in 2024.
Right on.
Yeah. I am also excited for Joker 2.
That was on my list too. Yeah. I'm mostly excited for Lady Gaga more than I am Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah.
I mean, he was great, but I want to see Lady Gaga.
And I'm excited to see how they turn it into a musical, although they probably won't make any mention of it in the trailer, seeing how they're marketing musicals nowadays.
Yeah, nobody wants to admit that they're making a musical. Even West Side Story, they didn't even put half of the music in their shit either. They are.
Wait, are y'all kidding? Are you joking?
No, it's gonna be a musical.
Some people commented that they're like, well, with West Side Story, people are like, it's a musical? People were literally
Okay, West Side's
there.
that's pretty shameful.
Yeah.
Embarrassing to not know that West Side Story is a
It's
musical.
a musical, right? It's always been.
That'd be like going into Cats and being like, I wonder what this
Right.
is about. Missing with it. It's not. You guys are lying.
No, Joker 2 is supposed to be, at least so far, they're saying it's supposed to be a musical, which is half of the reason they hired Lady Gaga to play Harley Quinn. So it's like we'll see. We'll see what it is. We only have one still.
First Joker, so I really have no frame of
reference. The first one is very much like a drama. It's a psychological.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah.
I mean, Lady Gaga is amazing, but like I'm I have questions.
Here's the thing.
Okay.
It's like I can see it because like I remember someone said that to me, and I was like, well, it is a weird choice because the first one is not a musical, like in any way, but music is a big part of the first movie for sure, especially because through dance is a lot of the way that the Joker in that movie expresses himself. And a lot of times there's like music that'll play that it's supposed to, it's definitely like for us, it's non-diegetic, but it is like, but it is supposed to narrate kind of how the Joker's feeling in that moment. So I could see them like taking that idea and evolving it in the second movie, where now he actually is singing, like he's expressing himself through song, and with Lady Gaga backing him up, I feel like they can't do no wrong on that one. Although the most we've gotten from Joaquin Phoenix as far as musical is Johnny Cash in Walk the Line. So he has done it before. He has done like a musical film before. So I don't know, but we'll see. I have high hopes for it.
Yeah,
because I like Joker.
I'm excited for that.
Joker was really good.
Yeah, and I was late to the Joker train. I watched it on streaming, and I enjoyed it. It was good.
Hopefully, we won't get a lot of the controversy that came with the first one of them being like, "This movie's gonna make people like shoot up theaters and stuff." I'm like, calm down. Like it's not that. I get it. It's the Joker. But it's not that Joker, okay? Just relax. Watch the movie first.
Right. I'm excited for Zendaya's movie that got pushed, Challengers.
I heard her white boys.
Heard double teaming.
Double teaming
on the tennis court.
The fact that you did that with the tennis out here bouncing balls around all like crazy.
I'm excited for that.
Someone make a joke. Talk about Tom Holland's mad because like they were like, it'd be funny if Tom Holland was mad at Zendaya for making this movie, and that's why he made his music video with him and that dude.
Wait, what?
Tom Holland was in a music video this year where it's a gay romance, and it's just a very like it's as explicit as they can get in a music video of him just getting like dicked down in a bathroom by this dude, and it became a big thing of people being like, "Yo, Tom, like, damn, Spider-Man getting it in like that, like, what's happening?" And I was like, "Y'all act like it's that big of a deal. It's a music video, and also he's acting. It's not like he's like cheating on Zendaya. Like it's a music video. What's the big deal?" But that turned into memes between the two movies, because you have this one movie with Zendaya having this like thruple with these two dudes, and then you've got the Tom Holland doing this like risque music video with this gay romance, and so it just became like a weird meme thing of like these battle of. I'm like, they're both professional actors and adults. They can be in other things that are a little sexually like risque. It's not that big of a deal. It's not that serious.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Speaking of Henry Cavill, I know how we feel about him. I'm excited for that
Argyle?
Yeah.
That looks like your type of movie.
Yeah.
I feel like that's your vibe.
With like the Kingsman aesthetic.
Yeah, Matthew Vaughn. I think
okay.
Yeah. Dua Lipa is in it. I'm curious to see what she does. In Barbie, she had like approximately 3 lines, and her accent was horrible. So I'm now that she doesn't, I'm assuming she's gonna be British in this movie. So I'm curious to see, because she just like she looks like an actress. Dua Lipa looks like she could be an actress. So I'm curious to see her official acting debut and what she does with it.
Listen, for some people, that's all you need.
Right. I didn't know this until like right before the podcast, but Smile 2 is apparently coming, so I'm excited to see that.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. That's right. They are doing a sequel to that movie.
Yeah. Also, Donald Glover has a Mr. and Mrs. Smith TV show coming out early next year.
Also
Apparently.
on my list. Yes, the trailer came out. It looks good. I'm excited for Mr.
I'm curious. I'm curious about that.
You know what though? This doesn't look as like exploitative as the Brangelina one was, where that movie was so like we're spies and we're so attractive and handsome. Like this looks like a very down to earth, like we are a married couple and we just so happen to also be spies, and it's kind of inconvenient for our marriage, to be quite honest. But you know, we make it work. Like that's what this movie feels like in a good way. I'm excited for it. Or is it a movie or TV show?
I thought it was a TV show.
Okay. Either or. I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Just a couple more. American Society of Magical Negroes. I'm excited about that, partly because I love the name, and then also because of the concept. It sounds fun as well.
I honestly want to hang out at movie theaters just to see white people or just all non-black people try to request tickets and see what they do.
I would be more excited for it if it was for the fact that after watching the trailer, this looks like the most toothless movie I've ever seen in my life. Like they have just this really great concept to really talk about something in the black community. And I feel like it's just going to boil down to just a regular rom-com about this black dude who likes this white girl. And he can't because Magical Society says you can't be with the white girl. And he's going to be like, I'll show you. And that's the movie. like pretty much. Not that there's anything wrong with that. It's just like when you have a title as
it's just a very outdated
American
story,
Society of Magical Negroes, and then the movie just be like, and it's a rom-com. Like it just feels like, well, damn. Like I feel like you kind of wasted the concept a little bit. You know what I mean?
Well, I'll be tuned in. I'm curious to see what it's all about.
I mean, yeah, the movie hasn't come out yet, so this is just all judgments off of the trailer. But for all I know, the movie could be really good. So we'll see.
Also, this is a 2023 film, but I also want to see American Fiction.
Same.
Yeah. I have two more. The second to last one. Anything Keke Palmer's in. I will be set to watch.
You don't even have a title. It's just Keke Palmer.
Untitled Keke Palmer project.
Right.
Whatever's there.
Yeah, I know. And I don't know if it's coming out this year or next year. Again, doesn't come out this year. I know she's doing a movie with Sacha Baron Cohen.
Okay.
And then and then it just announced that she's going to be also doing a movie with Eddie Murphy and Pete Davidson, a heist comedy. So curious to see those.
Okay.
And lastly, reality television. So in January, Traitors, the TV show, is coming back, and Lauren, a friend of the podcast, she got put onto that show, and I'm so happy that she did because she enjoyed it. And it's hosted by Alan Cumming, and it's basically like these three. They bring all these people to this Scottish castle. Three of the people are traitors, and in the middle of the night, they eliminate someone. They call them murdering. They murder someone, and then
it's werewolf.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
And then they have to guess. The group has to come up with a consensus who they think is a traitor. If they get a person right, then that person is out of the game. Blah blah blah.
This has been a show before?
Yeah. The first season was in January.
That sounds so fun. I've never heard of that. That's like right up my alley.
Hey, let me put you on like Lauren as well. It's on Peacock. it's really good. It's really good. It's on Peacock. Half the cast is like newbies, like people who've never been on reality TV before, and half the cast are people who have done reality TV stars. So, and I think that dynamic really worked really well because these people knew how to bring the drama in TV. And Ryan Lochte, for some reason, he's on the cast. But season
I don't know
2
who that
is,
is, but you sound like you don't like them.
he's the Olympic swimmer guy who like claimed that he got robbed in, what was it, Brazil?
Brazil.
And he lied. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then season 2 is going to be all reality TV people, so I'm really excited for that. Also excited for. Sorry, go ahead.
No. I was gonna say, I was like, we talked about Squid Game, but I never asked you if you ever were tempted to sign up, because at the finale, after the finale of the episode's over, they're like, "Do you want to be at Squid Game too? Go to this website and log in so you could be part of Squid Game Challenge Season 2." And I was like, after the news stories about the damn conditions for Squid Game Season 1, you expect people to sign up?
Also, like, talk about missing the point of the show.
Oh yeah.
The show.
Definitely.
Begin with.
And every time I kept mentioning, I was like, yeah, sure, I'm having a good time, but let's not negate the fact that this is very offensive to the point of the first season. That all these people, especially people that when this show is over, y'all still get to go home and go to your jobs and live your life. Like, it's not like you're destitute or you have to be here and y'all are crying and acting a fool like y'all are losing out on like money you absolutely need. No, you're not.
Next, Netflix. Next thing, Hunger Games. I can see it.
Hunger Games in real life.
You can see it.
Like the reality show.
Yes, the reality show.
Like,
I can see it.
They'll keep them like
Kids only too. You have to be under 18.
Yeah, I was like the age they should have been.
And it'll be like YouTube children. Like parents will be like, "Oh, this is payday." All the YouTube kids.
They walk out with traumatic experiences, like scars.
I mean, they're already pretty traumatized already. What's the Hunger Games to them?
Speaking of, is Squid Game, like the scripted show, is that coming back this year?
No news. They said they did put out like a teaser saying like season 2 was close. It was coming pretty soon, but no date yet on when that's happening.
So that'll be anticipated. And then for the reality shows, The Bachelor, which The Bachelor for the last however many seasons, the fans, they have picked a bachelor who the fans either hate or don't care about at all. But for this year, they've actually picked like the fan favorite, Joey. He's great, good looking guy, and he's going to be a great bachelor. And like they had a good amount of people of color on the cast for the women, so I'm excited about that.
Nice.
And that's it for me.
Cool beans. Yeah, you're helping me because you're taking off some off my list. Yeah, I mean the ones I already said: Boys Season 4, Joker 2, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Definitely excited for all 3 of those projects. Can't wait. Especially Boys Season 4, because it's like that show could not be coming out at a better time because it's an election year this year, and Season 4 is all about the election in that universe, where there's possibly hints that maybe Homelander's running for president and stuff. Even in the trailer, they have a great speech talking about democracy and how democracies work. And they're like, yeah, people are stupid. So you put them against each other just enough so that you can sweep in and look like the hero and get them to vote for you. I'm like, damn, if that's not really on point right now with a lot of the candidates we have running for president, like, that's insane. So it could not be coming out at a better time, to be quite honest. So I'm excited for that. But as far as the things we haven't said that I'm excited for, first of all, even though I'm a little concerned because anything put out in this month of January is a movie sent to die. It's basically what it is. But I'm still excited for Ava DuVernay's Origins. I am excited for that movie. I'm really curious to see what it's about. They just dropped the trailer for this, but it's a movie. It looks like it's about like John Bernthal and who's the main actress's name? Dang it, she's amazing, and I need to look it up because I want to put some respect on her name because she is fantastic. Anjanou Ellis Taylor. she's
Oh yeah.
them two, like there's a little romance
She was in
between
The
the
Color
two of them, but
Purple.
also like she's like, but also it looks like it's gonna be a movie where she's basically finding out like, or basically linking the many like racial atrocities that have existed throughout history, all connect, like how it all is led to where we are now currently as a society, including like the Holocaust and other things that have happened in other countries. Like I only mentioned the Holocaust because that one specifically is in the trailer, but I'm sure she'll point to others that have happened in slavery and other things. And so that's why the title's Origins, because it's kind of touching on the origin of this racial disparity between peoples. But also from a different perspective because her character's in an interracial relationship, but like so it's really interesting. I'm curious to see what it's about. At the very least, it'll just be an interesting movie to watch, I feel like. And plus, it's Ava DuVernay. Anything she makes, I'm watching. So even if it's bad necessarily, but I'm watching it. And it's good to see her back in her element in the indie space because she tried to do the Disney thing, wasn't her thing. I think she works in the indie space definitely. So I'm hoping to see. I'm hoping this movie's going to be really good. Next, we're getting a couple video game adaptations next year, but the one in particular I'm excited for is Fallout. That's coming to Amazon Prime. I think that has a lot of potential, and the trailer looks really good. I'm like, because it is another post-apocalyptic show, but the Fallout universe is especially interesting because it's like in the 1950s. There's been like because it's like, or not, because the idea is like, for those who don't know, in the world of Fallout, basically after 1940, where nuclear power is used, the bomb is dropped and everything, instead of how we are in our current society being like, oh man, nuclear power is really dangerous, we should be careful. The Fallout universe, they embrace it. Like they have everything, and they advances technology way far, where they have futuristic cars and robots and all this other stuff. But then, like, shit goes bad and a war breaks out that eventually leads to them blowing up all the nuclear plants around the world and destroying everything. And so
as you would expect.
Yeah, exactly. And so fast forward like thousands of years later, a person who's a vault dweller, because they build vaults throughout America, which are secret stuff going on with the vaults that I won't spoil in case you want to watch the show. But like a woman who's a vault dweller goes out into the post-apocalyptic world and finds that it is not the world she remembers from the 1950s. And so there's a lot of 1950s aesthetic mixed with post-apocalyptic nuclear Fallout world. And so the Fallout world is really interesting. Yeah, I love the Fallout games. And the show looks really interesting, so I'm excited. And it looks like they're really being faithful. Although, if you're an insect person, like insects creep you out, and like just be aware that like one of the main enemies that's in the game and is in the show is called a rad roach, which is just a cockroach the size of like, I don't know, like a small dog. Like so. Just be aware that that's going to be a thing.
I'm fine with insects, but roaches,
So like because there's one in the trailer, so I'm like, rad roaches are a thing. So just know that. For those of you who are squeamish about insects. So but I'm excited for Fallout. House of the Dragon season 2, cannot wait. I like House of the Dragon restored my faith in Game of Thrones. It's like restored it entirely. So I'm excited for House of the Dragon season 2. Cannot wait. It's one of the few shows they continued to film even during the strikes. So I'm excited for that. Also, Invincible season 2.2, because you already got some of season 2 this year, but they decided to split it into 2 parts. So I'm excited for Invincible season 2, part 2, this in 2024, because it's getting good. And I've been reading Invincible, so I'm excited to see where I think we're going to catch up to. Bob Marley, One Love.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I don't know much about Bob Marley really. Like I know a little bit, but this looks like this movie's gonna be great to like learn actually a lot more about Bob Marley. So I hope they're like faithful and we get a lot. Also, the main guy playing the Kingsley Benadir, love him. He was wasted in Marvel's Secret Invasion this past year. But I hope he gets a chance to like show his stuff in this movie. And already from the trailer, he looks amazing as Bob Marley. He has the voice down. I'm with it. So I'm excited to see him as Bob Marley. Last two, I gotta hit my A24 rec, like things that I'm excited for. Number one, Civil War. I'm excited for this movie. Mainly because like it's not that it looks amazing or anything like that, but I'm curious to see what an A24 action movie looks like. Like, and that's more what I'm excited for more than anything else. It's not so much that the movie looks like it's gonna change lives or nothing like that, or it's like it's an interesting story, but just I'm like, and it's got Jesse Plemons in it. If Jesse Plemons said yes, there's gotta be something about this movie that's worth a damn. So I'm excited.
I go where Jesse goes. You right.
Yeah,
You
so
right.
I'm excited to see like what that looks like because this is A24 doesn't normally make like actiony kind of movies and stuff like that. So I'm excited to see what it is.
But
Hopefully
they
it's good.
that it's Alex Garland is the director. Am I making that up?
I'm not sure actually. I don't know the director.
And I think that they've worked with him before, at least for one thing, because didn't he do Men?
I think so. Let me see. This director, Alex Garland, he did do Men. Mm-hmm. So this will be his second time. Well, actually, no, but he also did Ex Machina, apparently, or he's related to.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, he did. He did.
So he's got some hits and misses.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. We'll see. But I am willing to give it a chance. But the real A24 movie I'm really excited for, Love Lies Bleeding. I am excited for this movie. I really am. I am mostly because of the casting, but also because of the premise. It's about it's a romance story, but it's a romance story of Kristen Stewart's character with this actress who's on the rise right now, Katie M. O'Brien, who's like this bodybuilder. And if you haven't seen Katie M. O'Brien in anything, she is jacked. Like this woman is like muscle bound. She's just big. Like if anything, she should have been She-Hulk because in real life, she's She-Hulk. She's just she looks like she put on even more muscle for this movie, and she's already pretty muscled up. But anything I've seen her in, she's amazing. Even in Ant-Man and Quantumania, like she's not in there for long, but she's amazing in that, despite how bad that movie is. And she's good in Star Wars. She's like she's just been nailing it in all of her roles that she's been in so far. So I'm excited to see her. So, but also it's a movie where Kristen Stewart is part of like a crime family. And so there's this drama there where it's like but Katie M. O'Brien is this outside force that's kind of being like, what you're doing is wrong, and like discover some stuff about the crime family. And so there's this constant balance of Kristen Stewart trying to hide kind of the criminal elements that she's involved in while trying to start this romance with this woman. It looks great. I am excited to see it. The trailer looks amazing. So I'm excited for that movie more than anything else. And also Dave Franco's in the movie too. He hasn't been doing because I was like, man, Dave Franco's in this movie. Where have you been? I guess you've been doing this whole time. So it looks good. Love Lies Bleeding. I'm super excited for. But that's my list for expectations 2024. There's no like I would say Deadpool, but Deadpool 3, but I don't know. Marvel's been slipping as of late. Like I would have more faith in it if it wasn't.
I feel like it's just going to be the same as Deadpool 1 and 2. Just snarky jokes and Deadpool being Deadpool.
I mean, the biggest selling point of that movie coming up next year is that Hugh Jackman's coming back as Wolverine. And there's possibly the premise is like based off set photos. You don't know this for sure. The premise is possibly that he's killing like all the other like tangential Marvel characters that are in Marvel movies that weren't made by Marvel. So like he's killing the Fox movie, like X-Men, and killing possibly like the old Fantastic Four, like, with Chris Evans and those guys, like all that stuff is maybe the premise. So I'm like, that could be fun, but I don't know. We'll have to see, but it's not on my like excited list. But yeah, those are our movies that we are anticipating for 2024. Will they be great? Will they be bad? Only one way to find out is that if we see them this year. But you'll have to tune in if we possibly review any of these projects. Gonna want to get some of this podcast goodness of us talking about all these movies and stuff and TV shows. But yeah, tell us down below in the comments what you're excited for 2024, and what in 2023 did you like or not like or whatever, or maybe you just felt down middle of the road, very mediocre. Let us know. We want to know, or email us at thefirstonestoDie@gmail.com. But before we go, of course, as always with every episode, socials. We'll start with Jonathan.
You can find me at Jonathan Keys on Twitter, Instagram, wherever you please. You can follow us at The First Ones to Die on all our social platforms. You can email us, like Jerome said, thefirstones2die@gmail.com. If you're watching us on YouTube and seeing our lovely faces, we would appreciate you giving us a like and subscribe. And if you're listening to us via your favorite audio podcast listening platform, please give us 5 stars and a review. That would help us out immensely. Alex, where can people find you?
You can find me at Alex and Nobody on Instagram and on TikTok, and the podcast TikTok, where we show clips of episodes we've done, things we are going to do, and just stuff when I'm randomly bored. And you'll see Cheddar pop up on there as well. And Jerome, where are we finding you?
You can find me at Not Jerome Red on Instagram. And also, speaking of the YouTube channel, go on over there for some extra content that you can't get on the audio streaming platforms. We're talking all types of stuff: gaming content, mini reviews, vlogs, book reviews, video versions of all of the YouTube channel, all of YouTube is on our YouTube channel. No, video versions of all of our podcasts. So go on over to the YouTube channel and check out some extra content if you want to get even more First Ones to Die podcast goodness, because I promise you will not be disappointed. And last but not least, Jasmine, tell the people where they can find you.
Well, I'm not super active on socials. I think I say that every time I'm on here, but you can find me at Jasmine Shiloh on most things. But more importantly, you can find me on Venmo at Jasmine, JAZMINE -CHILO.
That's right.
That's right. Send over send over a Christmas present, like late Christmas present or New Year's present. I don't know. New Year's don't have presents, but maybe we could start a new tradition here.
Yes,
on the First
or some form of reparations because y'all made me watch Saltburn. Y'all meaning me.
That's fair. That's fair.
We did that last week with our Venmos.
Yeah, I'm like, I can just add yours to our Venmo thing. There it is.
But anyway, definitely, as always with the new year, of course, we're going on our January hiatus, so you won't hear from us for a while. But in the meantime, do check the YouTube channel. We are still going to be posting some extra content for you to check out. We're going to have more of Monster Camp coming out. We're going to have other gaming content coming out, other stuff. We're doing roulette with the screen. I don't know what's going on, but anyway,
somebody.
It's Jonathan.
That was.
But anyway, we're gonna tune on in definitely to the YouTube channel to see some other First Ones to Die content coming out while you're waiting for us to come back at the podcast, and we will announce it on our Instagram and other things. But until then, Happy New Year. Enjoy yourself some holiday season, and we will see you for the next one. Bye.
Bye. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Go on over to the YouTube channel at The First Ones to Die to see all the fun stuff we got going on here, like mini reviews, book reviews, gaming videos, vlogs, all types of stuff.
Please follow us at The First Ones to Die everywhere. Go ahead and give us a like and subscribe.